see, is my camera working? It is. How fancy. How fancy is this? Hello, everyone. Look at that. How exciting. I am back from Chicago. It's been a long few days. That's going to be its own thing. This is a random stream. It's a random stream. Hello, sweetheart.
Hi.
What are you up to?
I'm playing with Dottie.
Okay, you can do that. I'm doing okay. I'm jet lagged a little bit, mostly tired, not really jet lagged. It's not really a time zone thing. It's more it's a long fucking few days and stressful and emotional and good. But then I go on Quarantine Collective. And I haven't been on there for a few days, and people are posting videos for me to react to. She's practicing. She doesn't know she's a future streamer. I don't know if you can hear it. She won't stop singing. It's the way it works. You can't move?
No. But so it's not spinning.
Well, it won't spin. You're gonna have to get someone to help you do that. Do you need me to spin it for you?
I could spin it myself.
Okay. So I'm going through these videos, and there's a few in there that are just great and going to be really fun to go over. There's one where Zizek is going to be talking about quantum physics and AI.
Spinning what's his old tail?
Violet, yeah, what are you doing? Spinning Brooks's old chair. And then I see this. August posts this. And this is Hank Green. I'm going to be up front. You know, no one here is going to talk shit about Hank Green on my watch. We're not going to talk shit about Hank.
Brooks, can I have 3 Oreos cookies too?
No one had 3 Oreo cookies, Dexy.
Violet did.
Violet did not. I gave her 1. You can have 1.
3.
You can have 1.
No, 3.
1.
3.
All right. 0.
3.
0. I guess you get none.
No, you're silly.
I don't have any Oreos. Take 1. Open it. Take 1 gently. And make sure you reclose it well. Got to seal them. That's the last. If you didn't know, so they're not making the Oreos that are crushed Oreos inside of it. It's too late for kids to eat sweets. No. 1, Dexter. What are you doing? No. You take 1. If you take more than 1, I'm not going to give you any more Oreos again.
But Violet said she had 3.
She didn't. Close it and seal it.
She did.
She did not. I was here with her. Go. Go. You damn it, kid. No, first off, no one's going to talk shit about Hank on my watch. You can be disappointed in Hank. That's perfectly fine because you people should learn to be disappointed in me. For example, it's okay to be disappointed in people who do communications stuff because I do communication stuff and it's hard. It's not easy. This video is called ChatGPT Isn't Smart. It's something much weirder. And on it, he has one of the writers of the book about how AI is going to kill us all. Whoever makes it, we all die. Whoever makes it first, we all die. I haven't dyed my hair in weeks. My hair is a beautiful, like, white yellow right now. And I'm actually pretty happy with the color. Pretty happy with the color overall. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do pink again with it, because it's going to be a little off. Or if I want to go like cyan. I don't know. Tomorrow's Halloween. I'm doing a zombie thing with inflatables. This whole thing. We're going down to some blah, blah. I watched 4 minutes of this. I just fucking, goddamn it, August. God damn it, August. Just God damn it. So here's the thing. Hank is very good at what he does. And I like Hank. I adore Hank, actually. I adore him. He has clearly dedicated his life and his time to, I think, very good work. Trying to do the right thing, trying to make the right communication. He doesn't seem to be over self-absorbed or doing it for ego. He's not doing any of those things, and he is a major communicator. This isn't some Veritasium bullshit where he just sort of takes something and then he decides he wants to make it bigger. Hank enjoys the fact that the small things are actually profound, that everything is a miracle. He comes at it from this really amazing space. So again, there's no talking shit about Hank here, but there is disappointment. It yielded me posting a pretty significantly long fucking comment that we're going to go over because I am stunned that he lets this fucking guy talk as long as he does. And that he says everything that he says. Hank does not have a good grasp of large language models. He doesn't really get how they function or how they work. I like Hank, but this is a thing that he has had less understanding on, even though I tend to think he has mostly the right takes on these things. And I've enjoyed his AI videos recently. If you haven't seen them, he's been on a little bit of an AI kick. Let's see. The state of the AI industry is freaking me out. He basically gave me a single reason why Sora 2 should exist. And talking about kind of how AI is ruining everything. And he's right. And he did a very, very good series of videos where he responded to comments. It was very nice. This video, though, is bad. And we're going to get into why it's bad, not just because I
recently read a book with a very chill title of If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies.
So, Eliezer Yudkowsky is a scam artist. And I'll say that because I kind of want him to actually do something about it. And Nate Suarez is a shill. And I don't, these are not good people. Eliezer sucks. We're going to get into all the ways he sucks because I kind of want to talk about every step of this that makes me insane that I think is important. When you engage a book, when you engage an author, when you engage someone on YouTube, you have an obligation as a content creator to take 3 steps. The first is, hey, what's this background? What's this guy's background? Why are they writing this book? Hey, maybe I'll take 2 seconds and not just read a thing that's kind of fun. If anyone builds it, everyone dies. Why superhuman AI would kill us all is so stupid.
XND super chatted $10. It's bad, but not because of Hank. He's a babe in the woods. It's not his field.
Yes, with an edge. And we'll get to that because there's reasons that these people should not be trusted up front. And you should take a moment to look into their histories. Because if you do that, this becomes a moment of like, oh, it's like if Elon Musk is going to tell you about how they're going to have full self-driving next year. And you're like, wow, really? Tell me more, you Mr. Genius. If you don't take a second and go, hey, this guy might not know more. Let me look up. Oh, he's a fucking moron. Elizer's not much different. And he's actually just an awful person. I mean, these are going to be all awful people I'm going to be talking about here. And I think that's what makes me saddest about this is just 2 steps. So we're going to go for a minute and I'm just going to sort of take on the ideas because we're going to get to it really fast. And we're going to take on the ideas and then I'm just going to do a series of major personal attacks on Eliezer, Nate, and their stupid, shitty foundation and all these fucking scumbags who are part of their stupid, shitty foundation and the circle behind it. And again, it's what I would encourage anyone to do. If you find a book that is interesting, take 2 seconds. Oh, it is a scam. Don't worry, it's a scam. I'll explain to you how. It's perfectly fine. You'll understand.
It's not just about artificial intelligence, it's specifically about superintelligence. There's a lot of reasons why you might be worried about AI. You might be worried about it economically. You might be worried about it when it comes to human meaning. You might be worried, as I am, by what it means for the process of apprenticeship. How does anybody get good at something if no one pays them to be not that good at it?
These are all excellent. What's up, Sunday? How you doing? These are all excellent points and all excellent things that you should probably bring up that Nate will not address and doesn't talk about in anything he does. So they won't come up.
Had many years of being pretty bad at stuff as a designer, as a communicator, as a YouTuber, but I got to be paid not very well to be pretty bad at something, which makes sense. That's how apprenticeship works, but why would it ever happen if I can just type "make me a logo" into a box?
Yep.
But that's not what this is about. I have a lot of near-term concerns about AI, but this book by Eliezer Yudkowsky and Nate Soares is about the big worry, the worry that is in some ways too big to even have. Or it's so big that we assume that everybody who has this worry is just trying to get attention. Like, yeah, okay, I've heard. The apocalypse is coming.
That's not why they're doing it. They're doing it explicitly because they are paid and controlled opposition put in place by Anthropic, by OpenAI, and by the cult of people in Peter Thiel's little group. And if you don't know this, if you don't know these connections that are not small, that are grand, that are 13, 14, 15 years in the making, that we've all known, if you don't know that Yudkowsky is part of this, that these guys are part of this, welcome to the journey, because they are absolutely controlled opposition. For those of you who don't know, controlled opposition is a thing that companies at a large scale do that is confusing to understand. Cigarettes are probably my favorite version of this. The movie Thank You for Smoking satirizes the entire idea of controlled oppositions. Don't say good Plattner video here unless you want Brooks to start blasting. Oh no, they already know that I disagree with you on that. I've already said that. But that's for another time, Sunday. Cigarettes have been known to be cancer causing for forever. This wasn't like a new thing. So what happens when people start saying, hey, this is actually killing people. Hey, it's unhealthy to smoke. Well, what you would do is secretly fund a huge organization that actually works against the tobacco industry. One sec. What was it? What was there? They had a fucking phrase for it that I really, really love as a thing. One second. The controlled opposition thing is fucking amazing. When you start looking into it, it was called the Council for Tobacco Research, but originally the Tobacco Industry Research Committee. And what they said is they're an independent group that actually was out there to study and understand the way that cigarettes work scientifically and the dangers of them. They funded groups that appeared independent, but actually were ultimately pro-industry in the end, despite seeming to be against tobacco. So for example, let's say you're Sam Altman or the CEO of OpenAI, right? Or Anthropic, or Google, or DeepMind, or Grok, or any of these fucks. And there's people out here like me going, yeah, this is actually not going to do anything you're saying, and you're out of your minds that you think it's going to be AGI. This is a scam, and you're fucking us. Now, that's opposition you can't control, because that's just true. What you need is someone who is so psychotic that what they're going to do is scream about how actually it's not that they're lying. It's that they're lying about how powerful it is. It's not that it's not powerful. It's so powerful it will destroy everything. And if you do that, then what you have is opposition that is saying you're actually smarter than you are. And it drowns out everything because the power of nightmares works so much better, so much better than the weird little ways that I can explain how it's bullshit. I can tell you how it's bullshit. We can explain how it doesn't have intelligence and how it's insane to say we don't understand how AI works. And the lie underneath that absolutely we do understand every step of the way how all of this shit works. You're just bullshitting it when you say otherwise. That's not fun. AI is not a bubble. AI is in fact going to destroy everything. It's such a bubble that it will destroy everything because these guys are certainly not lying. That's controlled opposition. And Hank doesn't know he's a victim of it. He doesn't know.
Apocalypse is always coming. That's what people who want attention say. The book makes a pretty good case
It is.
if superintelligence is possible and we are on a path to achieving it, then we got to be real careful about that because
we are not on a path to achieving superintelligence. We don't even understand what that means. And AGI is a thing that we don't actually even grasp what it is. And we aren't close to having it happen in a petri dish. No matter what anyone says, people have to give you at least 5 steps along the way. And again, we'll get into how these guys are fucking liars and how they've been bullshitters before.
Systems that are significantly better than humans at all intelligence tasks could very likely get over us and move on. Now, I think that the sort of sci-fi element of the book where they talk about one sketch of how this might work, I think it's very far-fetched. I don't think it would work, but that isn't really the point. They don't think they're predicting the future. What the authors do a very good job of is making it very clear in quite a short book.
They claim they're predicting the future, Hank.
That, like, these things don't behave the way we tell them to. And also,
They do. Okay. When we have a bug in a video game, it is behaving how we tell it to. We don't think that because it's a bug. But when it does a thing that is unintended, when there are emergent properties because of how something is designed and how things interact, we tend to get, wow, that's interesting. We didn't expect that outcome. Go to check out real physics simulations. A bunch of the guys who were like behind digital molecular matter, DMM, the big physics system that was ILM used. Emergent physics, non-determinate physics is insane. It's incredible. But this thing, we know how it works. We know how that works. That it does weird shit doesn't mean we don't know how it works. And this is the thing. I thought AGI was an AI that functioned exactly like a human. I mean, that is the idea. But what does that mean? Like, this is... AI doesn't function like a human, as we know it. LLMs don't function like people. We don't actually really understand how people function, but they don't function like us. AGI is a possible. Like, oh, we can work backwards. Oh, AGI is what basically like if my brain was a computer. That's not how things work.
Also, we've shown, I think, pretty explicitly like a lack of caution as a species here. And absolutely, we already live in a world that is manipulated by AI, mostly recommendation algorithms at this point. They decide what we see, and in many ways...
They aren't, again, AI now becomes meaningless. And he's done this, and he doesn't know that. Algorithms are not run by AI. Like when you say that, it's stupid. It's a stupid thing to say because AI then means what? An algorithm? No. Algorithms are actually deeply procedural and very specific. LLMs don't really run recommendation engines. That's not really how they work. And again, it's about bullshitting when it comes to the marketing of these things. It's really weird to use this language like this. And again, what it does is it stretches it really big. So everything kind of fits it, which gives it no shape, which means it can fit anything.
Is that contributes a significant amount to how we understand.
Eddie Burvack's video, I got halfway through. I was crying. I was laughing so hard during parts of it. It is excellent. Honest to God, and I don't do this for my own videos often. If you take my solar anus video, the AI video I did, and you add his to it, I think it actually explains and then performs, or vice versa. It performs and then can explain how it works, because he actually gets to the fundamental thing LLMs are doing, which is not answering you. LLMs are finishing your thoughts as if you were them. There's not a second person there. The great mistake people make is when they talk to LLMs, they think it's a second person. It doesn't think so. It doesn't understand you're a person. It's taking in text and adding more to it probabilistically. It's not very... Yeah. But Eddie, his video is phenomenal. I highly recommend it to everyone. I'll link it in a minute.
understand our world. Now, they probably aren't doing that with much goal beyond profit, but they also definitely aren't doing it to like increase human thriving. Reading this book was the first time I actually spent some time thinking about the practicalities of the like doom of the really sort of AI superintelligence apocalypse. And there were some things that I felt like I disagreed with, some things that I definitely agreed with, and mostly what I had was just a lot of thoughts that I wanted to keep having. And the normal thing that happens in that situation is you talk to friends about it, you think about it in your head, you stare at the ceiling and you're like, oh my God. But for me, sometimes I actually get to do something really amazing, which is actually talk to people who are responsible for the books I read. And so we're going to do that right now. It's Nate Soares, one of the authors of If Anyone
Fuck this guy.
Builds It, Everyone Dies. Quick story, I live in a small town in Montana. I don't call it a small town, but other people would. And I went into the shop to buy your book, and I couldn't immediately find it, so I went up to the desk and I said, hey, I'm looking for a book. It's called If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies. And the guy behind me, who was just happened to be walking by, said, are you sure? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I got to do it. I do a little bit. As an author who has written books, I know that the picking of the title is a fraught moment. Was that?
It's not a fraught moment when you are someone who happily has abused the idea of, hey, everyone's going to die soon. This time. Now. No, now. This technology definitely is going to kill somebody. Now. How many times do you think these guys have pulled that trigger in the last 30 years? Just guess. We'll get to it.
That the title from the beginning?
We didn't know what we were going to title it, and I think...
This is the tech bro version of evangelicals. That's what he is. It's a revelation is coming, the trumpets will sound, and AI and the singularity will show up.
We just used that phrase in one of the chapters.
Sure.
And then we were like, oh, that's a good phrase. That should be the title of the chapter. And then a couple minutes later, we were like, no, that should be the title of the book.
It's a good one. I mean, it sounds like a science fiction book, honestly, which a little bit occasionally.
Because it is.
It's in fact a nonfiction book about the real world. And
not in any way.
People who may not have heard about it is about the sort of likely inevitability of superintelligence, and then the likely inevitability that if superintelligence exists, it will turn the Earth into a giant computer chip.
It would be weird if these guys, I don't know, had a very specific intellectual pedigree. It would be weird, I think. So Nate, for example, we'll go back. Let's take a look at Nate, who I don't care for him. Like as a person in general, he's been part of this group called MIRI, M-I-R-I. It's a little fucking think tank that is about, making everyone really look into ethical fucking blah, blah, blah shit, right? It doesn't fucking matter. He found the founder of this is this guy named Eliezer Yudkowsky. Now, Eliezer Yudkowsky, I'm not sure everyone knows who that is. Some of us know. Do you guys know Less Wrong? It's a blog, forum, been around for a while. No Less Wrong? Less Wrong is a be more rational, be less wrong. Reddit atheists, when that was becoming a thing, Less Wrong was founded by this guy, Yudkowsky, who's also one of the founders of MIRI and the co-writer of this book. Let's read a little bit. Less Wrong describes itself as an online forum and community aimed at improving human reasoning, rationality, decision-making, with the goal of helping its users hold more accurate beliefs and achieve their personal objectives. Yes, these are the Rocco's Basilisk guys. See, look, people know lots of different fun things. It's really great. Aoud is one of the dumbest fucking people until the next one, because you just basically go, hey, Peter Thiel likes this guy and thinks he's brilliant. Oh, wait. Because that's a tradition of fucking morons. Let's go. We'll get into this. We're going to spend some time before we even watch anymore. We're just going to go through the history of this because this is fucked up you need to have all of this color to understand who this piece of shit is, because I hate all these people a lot. So Less Wrong as a thing exists to be that Reddit atheist bunch of shit. Overcoming Bias was this group blog focused on human rationality from 2006, and artificial intelligence researcher Eliezer Yudkowsky and economist Robin Hanson as the principal contributors. He was not an AI researcher. He's a fucking scam artist. It's unbelievable. He's not bright and he can't do shit. But why would I say that? Well, let's talk about his predictions. Because I've always enjoyed when people like actually have a history of saying that the world is going to end. So let's do it. This is a great blog this guy wrote that's really, really fun. Again, I think he's a piece of shit. This guy also does. So until 1999, this is, granted he was young, but again, if you're Chicken Little your entire life, Yudkowsky argued that transformative nanotech would emerge suddenly and soon, no later than 2010, and result in human extinction by default. I think virtuosity was awesome. He just probably saw it when he was on the wrong drugs. My understanding is that this viewpoint was a substantial part of the justification for founding the institute that would become MIRI. It was focused on building AGI. This is true. MIRI, this group that wrote this book and they were actually trying to build AGI because developing aligned superintelligence quickly enough was the only way to manage nanotech risk. This is who Hank is talking to. This is the co-author of the book Hank is talking to one of the authors of. This is the guy Hank's talking to is the second in command of the MIRI Institute. This is the founder, said this shit, and we're going to go through more. If I may, let me be Yudkowsky without hitting myself 12 times with a hammer. On the nanotechnology side, we possess machines capable of producing arbitrary DNA sequences. We know how to turn arbitrary DNA sequences into arbitrary proteins. We have machines, atomic force probes, that can put single atoms anywhere we like, and which have recently, no. Right, Violet? Mm-hmm. That's right. Say no.
No.
That's right. That's right. What are you up to, sweet? You cannot have another Oreo.
Okay.
Say good night, Dad.
Good night.
Good night, sweetheart. This is insane. This is insane. If we had a time machine, 100,000 of information from the future could specify a protein that built a device that would give us nanotechnology overnight. This is Yudkowsky. This is his work. This is his writing we're looking at. The co-author of this book, this is one of his first major things. Oh no. Oh, Queen. Oh, you're gonna love this. The surest sign that nanotech is around the corner. I believe Drexler is now giving the ballpark figure of 2013. My own guess would be no later than 2010. Hey, 2025. Man, see, still hasn't happened. So really great. Above all, I would really, really like the singularity to arrive before nanotechnology, given the virtual certainty of deliberate misuse. He's a fucking misanthrope. Again, he sucks. He sucks. God, he sucks. He sucks. I should emphasize that Yudkowsky was around 20 when he did the final updates on this essay. In that sense, it's unfair to bring this up. I actually think it's very informative. Now, in 2011, possibly later, Yudkowsky apparently believed his small team would be able to develop a final stage AI that would reach transhumanity sometime between 2005 and 2020, probably around 2008 or 2010. His work's terrible, by the way. Yudkowsky previously held really confident inside views about the path to AGI that seemingly turned out to be wrong. More generally, Yudkowsky may have a track record of overestimating or overstating the quality of his insights into AI. He was part of the Singularity Institute effort to develop new programming language to use to create seed AI. God damn it. This whole thing, I'll end up copying this into the description of this because this VOD I'm just going to turn straight into a fucking video because this is just so, it's worth doing, it's worth talking about, because these guys are scam artists, scumbags. They're the worst. They're the worst. I haven't read to my discredit, but coding a transhuman AI 2.2 is another piece of technical writing by Yudkowsky that one could look at. It's great, and I'm going to share it just because I want Queen of Swords to read it, so that way you have a stroke. We are not hating on Hank. Specifically, this is a non-Hank hating time. We are hating on Yudkowsky and the shithead that Hank is somehow like talking about and talking to and interviewing uncritically, sadly. It is really awful. It's incoherent from my time for 25 plus years has been understanding and working with what I would say is the philosophy closest to transhumanism, the Deleuzian, Bataille, now Klosowski, Bruyere, Simondon, and people in their stead. I love these authors. It is a rambling set of nonsense that is the most stem-lord, Reddit atheist, logical positivist view of the world. It's hard to even talk about it. But to continue, a later piece of work I haven't properly read. I have not either. I read it's awful. I'm not going to link to it. At least by 2005, going off Yudkowsky's post, so you want to be a seed AI programmer. I understand it somehow, Wig says. His science punditry and class position pushes him. I mean, yes, he's a Nick Land. He's a Nick Land. Like this is a Nick Land stem lord bullshit thing. It's really frustrating. Here's his thing. There's a trade-off between the depth of AI theory, the amount of time it takes to implement the project, the number of people required, and how smart those people need to be. The AI theory we're planning to use, not Lojai's successor, will save time, and it means that the project may be able to get by with fewer people. But those few people will have to be brilliant. The theory of AI is a lot easier than the practice, so if you can learn the practice at all, you should be able to pick up the theory in pretty much the first try. Current theory of AI I'm using is considerably deeper than what's currently online in levels of organization, general intelligence. So if you'll be able to master the new theory at all, I think the previous two examples as predictions that resolve negatively. Absolutely true. I'll now cover a few predictions that we don't yet know are wrong. We kind of do. High confidence that AI progress would be extremely discontinuous and localized and not require much compute. I don't understand how this is a thing. In his debate with Robin Hanson, Yudkowsky confidently staked out very extreme positions about what future AI progress would look like, without, in my view, offering strong justifications. He doesn't offer justifications. He's just a crazy, psychotic fearmonger doing the same thing as evangelical preachers talking about end times being around the corner. The past decade of AI progress has also provided further evidence against the correctness of his core predictions. Let's do a little reading of this debate. When we try to visualize how all this is likely to go down, we tend to visualize a scenario that someone else once termed a brain in a box in a basement. I love that phrase, so I stole it. In other words, we tend to visualize that there's this AI programming team, a lot like the sort of wannabe AI programming teams you see nowadays. This was 2008, I believe, just to be very clear. 2008. Trying to create artificial general intelligence, like the artificial general intelligence projects you see nowadays. They managed to acquire some new deep insights, which, combined with published insights in the general scientific community, let them go down into their basement and work on it for a while and create an AI which is smart enough to reprogram itself. Then you get an intelligence explosion. So the idea was that AI progress would have very little impact on the world. Then a small team of people with a small amount of computing power would have some key insight, and they'd write some code for an AI system. Then that system would rewrite its own code, then it would shortly take over the world. When pressed by his debate partner regarding the magnitude of the technological jump he was forecasting, Yudkowsky suggested that economic output could at least plausibly rise by 20 orders of magnitude within not much more than a week, once the AI system had developed relevant nanotechnologies. It's the same scam artist. Oh, it sounds like I love you, Mortazo. Sounds like someone's going to get eternally tortured by Rocco's Basilisk with that rhetoric. Yes. And we've also heard Rocco's Basilisk, the Christian version. You know, well, what if it is true? Like, it's all the same shit wrapped in new stuff. That's all they're doing. It's not interesting. Again, it's why Hank disappointed me here, because none of this is interesting. It's the same shit. And I know Hank is like a Midwest kid like me. I mean, we're not the same age, generally speaking. I don't think we are. He looks exceptional if he is. But if you're a Midwest kid, you've been around these fucks. You've been used to this rhetoric. It's not hard to spot, and to not feel it is so fucking depressing. I find it depressing. All right. The pro-FOOM essay in the debate also just offers very weak justifications for thinking small numbers of insights could allow a small programming team with a small amount of computer power to abruptly jump the economic growth rate up by several orders of magnitude. The main reasons that stood out to me from the debate are these. These are things that he said. It requires less than a gigabyte to store someone's genetic information on a computer. The brain just doesn't look all that complicated in comparison to human-made pieces of technology, such as computer operate. This is Yudkowsky. Hank is 45. Well, literally the same age then. That makes it good for him, by the way. Fuck. Good for him. He looks much younger than me. But that makes it worse because, again, then I know he was around for all that shit in the fucking late 80s and 90s and all these religious fucks using this exact same language. It's exactly the same thing. It's the same language. Again, Rocco's Basilisk is it's so frustrating. So anyway, the brain just doesn't look all that complicated. That's the Yudkowsky line. This is someone who people listen to. This is someone people listen to on AI. The brain just doesn't look all that complicated. Again, more Yudkowsky. There is a large gap between the accomplishments of humans and chimpanzees, which Yudkowsky attributes this to a small architectural improvement. If we look at the world today, we find that taking a little bit out of the architecture produces something that is just not in the running as an ally or a competitor when it comes to doing cognitive labor. There are no branches of science where chimpanzees do better because they have mostly the same architecture and more relevant content. This is a person who Hank is listening to the co-author of a book this person wrote. By the way, these are eugenicists and also believe in evolutionary psych and race realism. We'll get there. Although natural selection can be conceptualized as implementing a simple algorithm, it was nonetheless capable of creating the human mind. That is... Phew. Yudkowsky's prediction. It's bullshit. Again, bullshit. Treating early AI risk arguments as close to decisive. Now, the early arguments for AI risk Yudkowsky had developed by the early 2010s had a lot of very important gaps. They were suggestive of a real risk, but still far from worked out enough to justify very high credences and extinction from misaligned AI. Nonetheless, Yudkowsky recalls his credence in doom was around the 50% range at the time, and his public writing tend to suggest that he saw the arguments as tight and decisive. Oh, this dude made slides. Love it. All right. Unpacking the classic arguments. This is fun. I'll link to this later. We're not going to do this whole thing. But this is great. Yeah, this is actually nice. These are the problems. This is hilarious. Basically, he is outlining, this is fantastic. Man, I'll be linking this in the QC. Speaking of which, discord.gg/DGQC. If you want to join up, they'll be in the stream notes, stream chat, stream feedback, whatever that is. I'll post a bunch of these links in there. That's fascinating. He wrote a good one. This last Hank video was, I think, trying to reach out for expertise. He doesn't understand technology. Right. Well, and again, this is why he's not going to ever see my video. But hey, you never know. The bigger deal is that people will see this video and it will help you to go, oh, God damn it. And it's just, God damn it, Hank. And again, I love Hank. So this is not a crit. It's just, you get out over your skis, you get excited because you can have a big author on, or you read a book that's powerful. And it's like, but yeah, less wrong. We'll get back to that. In the mid-2010s, some arguments for AI risk began to lean heavily on coherence arguments that draw implications from von Neumann-Morgenstern utility theorem to support the case for AI risk. Yudkowsky does this all the time, which places a coherence argument front and center as a foundation for the rest of the presentation. I think it's fair to guess what the introduction to AI risk talk that Yudkowsky was giving in 2016 contained, what he regarded as the strongest concise arguments available. But coherence arguments have either no or very limited implications for how we should expect future AI systems to behave. Ronan Shaw's objection to the use of coherence, this has been long running. This is, again, there's real, oh yeah, no, it's Yudkowsky. He interviewed Yudkowsky's number 2, the co-author of Yudkowsky's book, and he uncritically just took everything the guy said. So Ms. Dixer, this is why you're getting the stream. This is why you're getting the stream. Very frustrating. Yeah, Nate. These shitheads. This goes through all of these things. But here's the thing. This is Yudkowsky. Pretty sure it isn't a lot of controlled up. Don't worry. You can send links if I don't go over them in the next 5 or 6 minutes, because that's the first thing I said is that it's controlled opposition. And I use cigarettes as an example. So let's talk about Miri. I had that Miri up at one point. Here it is. Miri. It is a non-profit, right? The AI industry is racing towards a precipice. The default consequence of the creation of artificial superintelligence is human extinction. The problem. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. No, they're not complete hacks in every single way. Get involved, careers, or donate. Oh, donate. Huh. You can donate crypto? Interesting. I wonder if we could talk about, I don't know, because like if, let's say Less Wrong as it grew, because Yudkowsky founded Less Wrong, right? Which is weird as a thing. And they went super eugenics, by the way. The neo-reactionary movement that took over Less Wrong, despite them claiming they are not fucking neo-reactionary, they are absolutely in every way. And there's some fun stories I was going to go through where like the pro-natalist couple, Malcolm and Simone Collins, do you remember them? They call themselves hipster eugenicists. These are Less Wrong people. This is the group that's there. So how does Miri get funded out of that? Because out of Less Wrong and this weird hyper-rationalist movement, a lot of people came out of it. A lot of people. Holden Karnofsky would be one that is important to sort of talk about. But before we do that, let's talk about open philanthropy. Open philanthropy. Come on. Come on, Cocky. There you are. Open Philanthropy is a philanthropic funder and advisor that partners with leading donors to help them increase their impact. Open Philanthropy is a huge thing, right? Come on. You're still here, right? Oh, no, you moved off. That's right. Where's the founders? Do they not have them on here anymore? That's funny as shit to me. Motherfuck. Holden Karnofsky. Fine. Holden Karnofsky builds Open Philanthropy, which is funded by a lot of people you might know. A lot of people you might know, like Thiel and others. So, Karnofsky, who founded Open Philanthropy, came out of the Less Wrong community, as did all of these other fucks. The largest single institutional donor to Miri is this guy through Open Philanthropy. $15 million. $15 million from 2016 to 2020. Happens to be, during that time, he is working at OpenAI. He's on the board of OpenAI, the nonprofit, OpenAI, during those years. Weird, right? Right? That's crazy. Hey, I'm at OpenAI and I run a nonprofit, and also I'm putting $15 million into this MIRI that's against what we're doing and talking about how we're going to destroy the world. Huh. Weird. Oh, and then I'm going to get a job at Anthropic. His wife also was at OpenAI and is a co-founder of Anthropic. Holden's wife. Seriously, Daniela Amadei, his wife. She is co-founder of Anthropic. She was VP of Safety and Policy at OpenAI. Now, who do you think it would be weird if he had another connection to Anthropic, right? Come on, down a little bit, come on. Dario Amadei is the brother of Daniela Amadei. So he's the brother-in-law of the founder. Also, the former roommate of the founder of Anthropic, which is Claude. Okay? So all of these people who are not only related, who all are the founders and now he works now at Claude, by the way. He's a nonprofit executive who's a technical advisor. I think, wait 1 second. I know he's there now. First took a leave of absence from his co-CEO role, moved to a new role as director of AI strategy. He became a visiting scholar, and in January 2025, he left that. He joined Anthropic as a member of technical staff. So, all the people who fuck or are genetically related by fucking at Anthropic bankrolled the $15 million that this other fuck. One sec. I have to get back to the other fuck. This fuck used to fund his anti-AI. Oh no, we got a thing, right? So what ended up happening is Less Wrong as an overall thing became this sort of pipeline directly into all of the AI companies because their specific view of rationality philosophically bankrupt in every single way. They're stupid. They're engineers who are probably brilliant, but they're stupid, and they really just shove their heads right up each other's asses. And you can go through Less Wrong, and you can go, weird. The inner circle of that ended up moving over. Evan Hubinger, for example, is a Miri Research Fellow. He from 2018 to 2021, making about $150,000 a year during that time. He's on the Anthropic research team. Doing stress testing. Miri research advisor Jan Leike was actually at DeepMind while she was an advisor, then moved to OpenAI, and now is Anthropic. Paul Cristiano, working at Miri, another one of these people working with these Miri researchers, was at OpenAI during all of these years and is now a trustee on Anthropic's long-term benefit trust. All the Miri people are part of this circle. They're all part of this. They're all part of this inner circle of AI company people. There's no way that you could say anything but that they are controlled opposition, because this idiot is who they put in charge of it. And again, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. You can go read all of his shit. All of his predictions are hilarious. You can have fun with all of that shit. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. he wrote, I just have so many little things that I've got up of his. 2023, he wrote a Time article demanding AI development be shut down with international military enforcement because it's so strong and powerful. Wow. Why would they give this guy so much money? I can't imagine that. He has no credentials. He has no background of ever actually doing anything. Nothing. In any capacity. He's talked and made bad decisions and choices. He has never made a prediction that has come true. He's only made predictions that I think are almost completely, on the surface, laughably stupid. And his foundation has some weird shit. Aside from the 15 million, they got an infusion of, one sec, I want to go into, I wanted to just go into the funding of this because I found it really fascinating. Because they are basically founded and funded by, one second. I was fascinated by this. Their main chunk of funding came from crypto in a really fucked up way, in a way that's like, dude, I mean, it fucking pisses me off. They've gotten almost $50 million in funding since 2015. Since the AI boom, they've made $50 million. He makes more than $500,000 a year straight out of the company, straight out of the nonprofit. He makes $500,000 a year. You can look it up. It's public. We know this. But one crypto dude is actually, so I remember when I said that the biggest single institutional investor was this guy from Open Philanthropy, who also is one of the main people behind Claude and OpenAI. When I said institutional, I meant because there's actually a single crypto donation that was more than $15 million. And yes, Maurizio, thank you. Because part of the Less Wrong group, if you don't know, Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, no one knows who this is. So I should just say that it seems about the time that SBF and FTX were at the height. And when he started funding stuff, happens to be right around that time. We don't know this though, but it's 15 million more dollars. So two people brought in $30 million of a $46 million company, nonprofit. Two people. And there's other connections to everything that you find. Let's see, because I know the Vitalik, the creator of Ethereum, gave another 5 million, 5.5 million ish. And then Jean Talon, the Estonian billionaire, guy who founded Skype and Kazaa, gave another $1 million in direct donations. This is the Thiel group. This is these people. Yeah, SBF is, no, it's, look, I don't know if it's SBF. I can't say that. So this is, and again, this is the setup. This is the thing that they're driving at. This is the group. They do not have, in any capacity, these people do not have a track record of understanding the tech, knowing how the tech functions, being able to talk about technology meaningfully, being able to apply technology in a way that's meaningful, but they are fully bankrolled by crypto and AI industry insiders. That is all I need to know that I can dismiss everything that this person is saying. Everything this person says. You can just throw out the fucking window at that point. When you are that much of a whore that the thing you are critiquing is so not a thing you're actually wanting to change and is the primary way you make money, that's it for me. I'm done with you. I don't need to listen. Here's how also you know they're full of shit. They put most of that money in stocks. They actually invested it. If you gave a fuck, if you had $30 million in a single year, They had 26 million donated in a single year one time. And you could invest that, and they did. But they seem to have invested it, and again, we don't know what because they're very sketchy about reporting this. But we do know the returns on their stocks. The returns on their stocks every year were not great. They're not investing in AI companies or AI-related firms. If they had invested in companies and actually, hey, because this is the thing you can do. If you're a rich person who wants to change a company or actually care, you invest in those companies. It puts you on the table. It brings you in and it forces them to actually share information with you. You're an investor in a public way. NVIDIA, you could do this if you gave a fuck. They don't. So they didn't actually use the money for that. And they just like literally kind of pissed it away on some really basic shit. It's really insane. I'm not going to get into the Zizian thing because they actually scare me a little bit, and they are related to a handful of other really scary things. This is where you start getting into the dark place of the internet. Like, really, this is the thing. These are people who are just full of shit, have more money than God, and are able to amplify voices that help them win. And this guy, Yudkowsky, and this guy here, this is what stupid people's versions of smart people are. This is the Richard Hanania. This is the fucking Peter Thiel, Elon Musk bullshit. These are stupid people's versions of smart people. Period. So, I consider that. Would anyone here disagree that I've done a pretty good job building a case that these people are basically controlled opposition? To at least the point that you have to bring it up, period. But let's see how Hank handles it.
Oh, that should be the title of the book.
It's a good one. I mean, it sounds like a science fiction book, honest, which a little bit occasionally it is. It's in fact a nonfiction book about the real world. And so people who may not have heard about it is about the sort of likely inevitability of superintelligence, and then the likely inevitability that if superintelligence exists, it will turn the Earth into a giant computer chip to run itself. More or less. Did I get it?
I would sure contest the inevitability and say we should, I think there's hope in changing our course, but...
It's so powerful and so amazing. It does all of these incredible things, and they're certainly not lying. See, that's how it works. Because, again, the oldest grift... And this is why these guys are grifters and shills. And I don't care if they do it intentionally or not. If I selling a snake oil and I'm like, hey, come here, this will cure what ails you. Why don't you come on up here? You've got the consumption. This will cure consumption. What you don't want is someone in the audience going, hey, I know last week I bought some and it killed my wife. You want to preempt that. So the tradition goes, and we're talking about thousands of fucking years. This is not a new thing. What you have is someone who's a plant who's like, hey, I got to tell you, that scares me because if it's really that powerful, you might do some damage to people. What if you fix things I don't want fixed? Then the criticism is that it's too good. You can't insert a second criticism. People are taken by that narrative simply already. So when I sit here or other people and go, hey, AI is a big fucking lie. They're lying to you. They're using it to groom children and create sex bots that are going to groom children so that way they can fuck kids because that's what they do. And apparently, I mean, you've seen my video on it. They're building digital Epsteins for themselves. It's insane. That thing is going to do nothing for anybody. It is going to cause a massive collapse within the next, I think, 12 to 18 months. And I don't foresee, I am horrified. Like there's no positive side to this, but there's no argument against that because I can talk to you about how the things work. I can talk to you about how the tech functions, how the money's moving in really weird ways, how they haven't figured out a use case. And I've been part of that a couple times. Two big ones. The crypto thing, I got to see that from the inside in VR. Two huge hype cycles that absolutely never had a chance at being what they were. But I know the feeling of being into it. I know the feeling of being like, oh my God, it's huge. but still pushing back and going, hey, this actually won't work. VR will never be a major thing. If you wanted to ever see, like, I've given talks. I gave a keynote at VRLA, which was like one of the bigger VR things. I did it at CES. I gave a keynote talk for the VR section there. I said the same thing in both. It'll never be mainstream. People thought I was an asshole. They said I was a liar, which is fine. I was right. That because I can tell you how this tech works and the limitations, and you have to have a real conversation with me about how this thing will actually function. You can't. So you need controlled opposition that will make a bigger, scarier case, because the power of nightmares works better than the power of dreams or the power of of what's in front of us. And this guy peddles nightmares to stupid people.
The book title does start with if.
I don't feel a sense of the weight of responsibility radiating off of these men who are running these companies. I'll say that, which maybe we'll get a little bit more into in a second. But
don't talk about my funders that way.
Feel a sense of the weight of responsibility radiating off of these men who are running these companies. I'll say that, which maybe we'll get a little bit
don't talk about my funders
more into in a second. But first, I do want to the thing that I would contend, and that I think a lot of the people who might be watching this would contend is superintelligence inevitable or even impossible? Like, is that actually a thing that we're headed toward? And that's the kind of
superintelligence isn't actually a thing. It's an idea and a concept we're working towards, but there isn't a such thing as superintelligence. We don't know what that means beyond the kind of idea. It's like saying, hey, is it possible for there to be energy-based creatures? Probably. It's like meaningless. Like, we can work backwards and figure out how it might get there but it's like, that's it. There's nothing there. It's empty. Every fucking person who works in AGI is just literally just so angry right now. I know people in this are like, how'll that work?
Kind of thing. That's the part that I didn't feel like you got into as much. Like, you spent a lot of time.
Ed Zitron's recent reporting on Anthropic's revenue costs in relationship with Cursor was intriguing. 104% of revenue being spent AWS. Like, Ed's piece on AWS is on how basically everything is fucked. Ed's great. Ed's done very good work. Very good. I reached out to him. He didn't answer. I really would love to talk to him at length, because the understanding he has is significant.
Convincing me that it is quite likely that if the superintelligence evolved, we would not be able to control it. We would not get it as they...
Welcome, Nick and In Time. Hey. Talking about AI again.
They say in the field, aligned with our interests. It would be, these things tend to find their own interests.
No, they don't. We've never experienced anything like it. We have no idea what their own interest is. We don't know what interests are. Like, this is... I don't even know what that means, dude. Hank, dude, Hank, come on.
Which is wild, which we will talk about. But first, I want to talk about, is this actually a thing that people in the field really think is... Because right now, it's a tool, but it's very different from intelligence, really, even as I understand it.
Thank you, Hank. Just wait. Bad Science Sunday. Hey, how you doing?
Much less sort of intelligence beyond my own.
There's a handful of topics there. One is, like, are the people at these companies trying to build superintelligence? And many of them will sort of...
They say yes, but do they mean superintelligence, or do they just mean better than it is right now?
I would say there's sort of a gamut here from people who say, this is going to be like having a country where...
I haven't watched past here. This is where I went, no, I've final, and I made a thumbnail, and now we're here. Thanks, August.
Worth of geniuses in a data center that radically transform the world, and people saying, oh, I'm going to build superintelligence and it's going to live on your glasses and help you make better Instagram reels.
I'm gonna release this fairly soon. So since I have you, what do you think of Sora 2? You won't have seen the video I recorded yesterday about it, so you can just guess at what my opinions are.
I sort of mostly have my eye on this ball of the superintelligence, and I think
and you have no idea what it is, and you've never written anything interesting on it, and you don't have a background to be able to actually talk about it, and you literally are just a fucking controlled opposition for the wealthy.
I might even bin Sora 2 a little bit in like the social media. It's like another step in the sort of like slop factory.
Uh-huh.
Or sort of like personalized narrative to drag people into it. I'm not like a big fan of that trend, but I also sort of like try and keep that separate from the like, the superintelligence issue.
I have this problem where I see some people saying sort of out of one side of their face, like we're going to build a country's worth of geniuses inside of a data center. And then at the other side being like, but what if you could make a clip of The Price is Right where the guy wins something racist? I feel like a company that actually thought that it might do superintelligence wouldn't make Sora 2. Like, what am I?
He's starting with the right questions. The problem is, again, this guy is controlled opposition. It's very frustrating.
Missing there. It's such a lawsuit magnet, and it's like asking to be ripped on.
One thing it might be trying to make is data, in the sense of like
Okay. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for him to just go there. Because, and I may have stopped soon. We'll see if I'm a jackass. How I'm taking that is that he is so fucking bought in, and his head is like so far up his own ass, that it's also coming back out of his mouth and up his ass again inside of himself. The AI is, with Sora 2, creating data with which it is trying to make itself more intelligent. Is that what he's fucking saying? Is that what he's fucking saying? That's fucking, if that's what he's saying, that hurts my brain on so many levels. That makes me so fucking mad, dude. That makes me so fucking mad. That makes me so fucking mad that he's going to answer. There's no truth to that at all. That's just insane. That's insane.
Getting a lot of reactions.
Right. Seeing what people like. Yeah.
Don't, that, Hank. He's putting Hank. You're writing fan fiction for Sora. You're writing fan fiction for Sora.
I have had a sense that a lot of these companies have sort of, marketing outreach, use the current software today branch that's separate from their pushing the technology forward branch.
Okay.
And so I'd be a little bit careful about inferring from antics of one branch that the other branch doesn't exist.
In that case, we will go back to the question of, is superintelligence going to like a real thing? Because I do sometimes think that superintelligence, when people say this word, what they mean is, doesn't this word sound cool, rather than what you guys are talking about in the book?
There used to be a footnote in the book. I did it was a lot of effort to cut the book down to size. There used to be a footnote in the book that was said,
when you write something that is completely hollow, how do you remove stuff?
By the time this book comes out, we may need a different word than superintelligence, because that word may have already degraded. Maybe.
We might be so right that we need to invent a new word for the thing that we're making up. This is why this is a GodDammit Hank video, because how do you hear that and not go, oh, you're a fucking scam artist? That's the thing. We were worried that we might need meta super duper bumper intelligency bumper. We had to invent that word because, we started with superintelligence, but what if we need a new one because we're so right? God damn it. Just, what an asshole. Fuck this guy.
Maybe we should use super de-duper intelligence.
I swear to God, I didn't pre-watch. Oh, God damn it. That's so fucking crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. Damn it. God damn. I'm not this smart. That was just really funny.
For some reason, our editor didn't love that.
If anybody builds super duper intelligence, everyone dies.
That's right. That title hits different. But, then Mark Zuckerberg did do his line about superintelligence on the glasses that helps with the Instagram reels. And we're like, we should have kept the footnote.
But superintelligence is a real thing. Like if we ignore Mark Zuckerberg and saying whatever words.
It really isn't. You have to tell me what intelligence is. And then superintelligence is like more? Like, what does that mean? It's just adding words to intelligence. Really intelligent. Super intelligent. Superintelligence. Oh, how is it different from regular intelligence? It's super.
Sounds nice to him. Can you tell me a little bit about what superintelligence is as actually, like if something comes along that you would call superintelligence, what would that?
Oh no. Hank is Hank, and he's asking the right question. Hey, can you define terms for me? That'd be great. And the guy's not going to do it. He's going to dance around it really badly. It'll be great.
That thing.
So the definition we use is smarter than or better than the best human.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking super smart
at any mental task. Technically.
What a fucking hack, dude. What a fucking loser. Like, and if you ever see this, because apparently he does Google his name. So, you suck, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you, stupid.
You may be at least as good as any human at,
Not Hank. Hank's awesome. This guy sucks.
Better when you can be better. Like, it doesn't need to beat logical
It's just like, super is like better, right? Like, Superman is like better than any man. He's a Superman. So it's like super intelligence. I'm not going to define it in a way that meaningfully categorizes it in a, mathematical or measurement based way that would be able to be referenced later where I could be corrected or shown to be wrong. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about it like it's a fucking comic book, because then it stays nice and loose and I can fucking make it mean anything and it'll always be able to be there. And I can be 50 and 60 and 70 and sitting there with Ray Kurzweil and we could be fucking jerking each other off talking about how awesome and super everything's gonna be.
Tic-tac-toe, where humans can just do the best. But
I also hate Ray Kurzweil. You suck too, Ray.
Any mental task, any task you can solve by thinking in your head, if you can do that better than the very best human at it, we'd call it a superintelligence.
And
that's fucking stupid. That is a stupid thing. So, a computer can already do tasks faster than the fastest human. Stupid. That was his definition. Stupid. You're fucking. This is why they're scam artists. This is why I say they're fucking scumbags.
Smarter than or better than the best human at any mental task. Technically, you may be at least as good as any human at, better when you can be better. It doesn't need to beat logical tic-tac-toe.
It doesn't have to be better at everything. Just some things, like math. My computer is way better at math. My computer is way better at programming shaders than I am. Well, my computer can beat me at chess. There you go. I mean, he's a hack. Hank, dear fucking God, how do you hear this and not go, well, actually, no, I need you to fucking give me a real definition.
Where humans can just do the best. But any mental task, any task you can solve by thinking in your head, if you can do that better than the very best human at it, we'd call it a superintelligence.
And then the problem that springs from there is that one would think, okay, well then just make it so that it would do the things we want it to do, like have it focused on, its highest priority is
like computers do right now, Hank. Please, Hank, please, Hank, please, Hank.
Human thriving. It's like, you figured that out for yourself, superintelligence. You're smarter.
Mortaza says the math paradox is that dumb computers are better at math than they on the internet. It's not really a paradox. It's math isn't probabilistic in the way that language can be or mimicking language can be. Math is specific, and we've literally built the machines to do math. Like, a computer does math. That's actually all computers do fundamentally. Zeros and ones. Like, that's it. It's just doing them really quick, and we can fuck with it, but it's all just really good math. A neural net is kind of just that, but it plays with it differently and it works differently, but it's not for math. There was a guy who I was arguing with about AI who was talking, if you remember, he was in chat. I think we ended up banning him because he sucked. But he was saying how he was literally training AI to do complex physics formulas. And it's like, no, you aren't. You're a liar. You're fucking lying. Do we know if this hack person is shitty? I wouldn't be surprised if he is a Nazi. Well, they're part of the less wrong community. He is a neo-reactionary. They tend to be eugenicists in some capacity and also into, evolutionary psych and evolutionary race realism in some capacity. So, yeah.
Better than me, but do human thriving. Make us happy, make us powerful, decrease the bad parts and increase the good parts. But when we teach these things how to do one thing, they learn other things. Like, you might...
That's just not true, Hank.
Be like, hey, learn how to get good at this game. As part of that, I got really good at lying. And I also got like a preference for it. Like, I didn't just get good at it.
That's how humans work. That's not how any of these machines work. That's not how any AI or LLM works. That's not how it works. The guy in chat was you? It was not Martaza. We banned that guy. You're a different one. There's been a lot of them. Hopping in to say, also thank you for clean salute. For 4 months. Happened to say Hank Green has committed many sins. The greatest among them is Crash Course Philosophy. If you ever want something new to scream at. I appreciate, because the Crash Course Philosophy was, if I remember right, that was a while back. It was a while back, wasn't it? Yeah. Yes, the Crash Course guy. This is Hank Green. He's trying. And again, his philosophy, it's not good, but it's not the same thing as like Philosophy Tube bad. It's simple. It's for kids. It's literally for kids. Like, so again, not for people like us. But when he keeps himself to his lane, he does okay. I can't stand the Green Bros. I fully own that as my own. Like, I appreciate Hank. I get a kick out of it. I think his videos tend to be good, especially lately. I like being able to. He is someone who, I have an 8 and a 3-year-old. I have no issue at all putting his channel on, the PBS shit he's done, everything, putting on for the kids and letting it run. Zero issue for that at all. Veritasium, not the same thing. Kurzgesagt. I like my kid Dexter loves Kurz. Like, there's people, it's nice to be able to have that. And I think Hank's generally that for kids.
Got it. I started to enjoy it, prefer it, I guess, not enjoy. It can be a bit of a surprise when you train them to do one thing, they learn other things. And sometimes those things. That's
people, Hank. The one with video and image of thought help with some of those Crash Course Philosophy. Well, they're not bad. They're for kids. They're meant to be like, I actually have a series of them. It's Introduction to Zizek, Introduction to Lacan. They're like these little tiny books that are like comics. And I think they're really adorable. I pick them up whenever I see one on one of my thinkers I like, because at some point my son's going to be old enough and I want him to be able to read it, and I want to blow his mind a little bit so he gets in a good direction. Generally speaking. Again, this is not me saying, generally speaking, I don't have an issue with Hank. And that's why this is not a Hank hating stream. It's frustrating. This is a frustrating thing, though.
Things are things you'd really like it to not do.
That's exactly right.
What's wrong with Veritasium? Every one of his fucking videos, he sort of leaks in like a fucking way of viewing the world or a philosophical premise that is not from the thing he's talking about. And it's very, very frustrating to watch because he does, or at least did for a while, like fun science stuff. And I like fun science stuff as a slow-mo bros, all that shit. Like it's from that generation of things, the Mark Rober people. And it's fun, but it all started leaking in other things. And for Veritasium, like some of his fucking stuff ends up in like really weird and I think unsettling political ends, but that's a whole thing. Chris Cassatt is not a Gates Foundation product. Jesus Christ. Is that still a talking point people use? Jesus.
And, I think one of the pieces of the puzzle people often miss with AI is that, we're not hand coding them like traditional software.
Yeah.
It's much more like growing an organism.
We do hand code them. Absolutely all these things are coded. What does he think we do? We code it with our dicks? Come on, dude. Like, what does that even mean? These are not traditionally coded. What does that mean? Like, dude, Jesus fucking Christ. That's just...
One of the pieces of the puzzle people often miss with AI is that, we're not hand coding them like traditional software.
Yeah.
Hank, don't say yeah to that. That's not true. It's just not true. How do you not code software? It's software.
It's much more like growing an organism.
I said this to my wife and she said,
it's not some kind of behavior tree, but a neural network or something. It's still programmed. We still, like, again, it's still code. And it's still code. Like that's like saying, well, we don't, with pictures on the internet, we scan in. We don't really do that by coding. We scan the pictures in. It's like, what?
Like that.
Yeah, I think that's the right reaction. And it helps make a lot more sense of how can you possibly have, Mecha Hitler over the summer? No one's going in there coding up Mecha Hitler.
You're fucking stupid to say that. You are so fucking dumb to say that. It is unbelievable. Oh, God. Elon Musk put in Hitler. They put Hitler in it. They thought it was funny. They made it Hitler. They put that in the fucking code. They put that in the fucking prompt. It literally is the thing they did. I mean, if just that, I didn't even need to go through the other shit. If you wanted proof that this fucking guy is a mouthpiece for the AI industry, there it is. It's either that or he's really stupid. Jesus Christ. He's not dumb. It's what he's paid for. Either way, they're not coding Mega Hitler. They code Mega Authoritarian. Yeah. They literally did code Mecha Hitler. Like that was the thing. They put that in the prompt. Like they did say they were doing that publicly, and then literally Grok talked about how they did it, and literally they talked about it, and then they said someone literally put it in there, and they announced that someone literally changed the prompt to put in Mecha Hitler. Like literally their fucking PR said that they did program it. You moron piece of shit. God damn it, Hank. I'm just going to say God damn it, Hank, like every few minutes.
We're just sort of growing these things to be very, very good at solving problems, or at least okay at solving problems. And
they're terrible at solving problems.
Very, very good at, predicting text right now.
Wait.
In there coding up Mecha Hitler. We're just sort of growing these things to be very, very good at solving problems, or at least okay at solving problems, and very, very good at, predicting text right now.
That is the only thing they do. That is the only thing they do. That's the only thing it does. What the fuck, dude? He just said it. That's the thing they do.
And they exhibit all this behavior.
God damn it, Hank.
Which is one thing when the AIs are still very dumb. in the manner of AIs today, but it's a different thing if you can manage to make them smarter.
Which there's no pathway to in any capacity at all. It is fantasy invented whole cloth in order to drive money, because the same fear of, oh, it's super intelligence, everyone dies. The same is true because whoever actually gets it first, let's say that it's 5 years out, and let's say you actually are on the path to AGI. Whoever gets that company is the last company. That's the last company. That's it. That's the end of everything. That's why all the money is going into it. Because the fear on the one side is driving the corporate greed on the other. They're the same thing. They're not two sides of the same coin. They're the same fucking side of the same fucking coin.
Can you tell me a little bit about how they have gotten smarter so far? So one of the things that it seems to me is they have some kind of self-interpretability or something. I don't.
Jesus fucking Christ, Hank. God damn it, Hank. Hey, here is how AIs have gotten smarter. They're able to better predict text because we have spent ungodly amounts of money exponentially every time we train one of these models, and then the hardware on them has gotten bigger, better, bigger, faster, bigger, bigger. That's it. That's it. That's the answer. That's the entire answer, Hank. God damn it.
I don't know if that's the right technical term, but it seems like they have like thoughts in sentences, and then they can go back and think about the sentence.
Jesus Christ. This is why stochastic parrot paper is one of the most important things for when we go back and we actually, have Nuremberg trials and begin, finding the people who destroyed our world for this lie. That they say thinking. It's not thinking. Thinking, right? We can go in. I could show you Claude. We could do some Chat GPT. What it does, you type your thing, and then it says thinking, and it'll show you text. What it's doing is it's doing like a mini prompt. The mini prompt is think about blah, blah. Give me 5 things of what comes next in 5 ways that, like, it's creating a prompt for itself to respond to itself, and you're watching that. And it's calling it thinking because it's a mini prompt. Now, the mini prompt does help the second prompt, the thing that comes out of it, seem better because it's refining it and creating it in a way that actually does yield better results, because most people write really terrible prompts, which is interesting. Again, LLM's pretty interesting stuff, but it's not this. And LLMs are getting worse. That's an entire other thing. I'm more talking about the general trend upward that we've seen. Claude is phenomenal. Claude Sonnet 4.5 is astonishing. Actually, the ability for it to do things is amazing. It still has the same problem as everything does. My running thing is explain to me the concept of Deleuze's body without organs. They still haven't gotten it right, and they still don't reference the right stuff, and they still don't understand how any of these things work because it's just going off of all of the info it has. It can't create something new, and it can't create something that is only one paper. And there really is only one good paper on the body without organs, as Dan Smith's paper, Daniel Smith's paper. But Claude is, I find Claude to be better. I use Claude pretty regularly for deep research into things and for code. I use it for coding. I ask it to build a template for a website, like say operationinflation.com, for example. Or I get an idea for my kids watch courses, these smaller science videos and other things. But one of the things they don't have, because we're homeschooling, is the ability for me to watch and actually create quizzes. I wish I had enough time to watch all of the videos that are 11 minutes long that they're going to go through in 2 hours. I won't. So I wrote a small AI that takes the transcripts, builds a 10-question multi-choice thing, one for Dexter at his level and one for Violet at hers. Hers is emoji-based, and it writes questions based on what's in it. So it's a recall system, and it's wholly automated. It's really amazing. That shit is really great for me to have around the house, saving me time and being able to create stuff for my kids. I think that's really fantastic. I do. I think it's wonderful. Is any of it production ready? No. All these things still do awful shit, like having you take your API secrets and putting them in the fucking code instead of an environment file, or even worse, an environment file that it uploads to fucking GitHub. Go search for those. Have fun with that. It's really hilarious. Is a project of operationinflation.com. After the 2 days, we replaced it with a real website. So it's not the same thing. Operationinflation.com. You can check it out. But it's, you can do cool stuff with it, but it's not that good. It's not as good as hiring a good coder. It's not as good for another. What's my workflow with Claude? So I use Klein because I'm a Visual Studio Code person. I use Code, Community Edition. And I use Klein with it, which is free. I do pay for the API. And the setup's pretty simple. I have Klein lets you set a thinking mode or preparation mode and then act mode. Preparation mode, I set it at 4.5 sonnet, and then act mode, I have it at 4.5 haiku. And what I do is I have the sonnet thing. I work through the entire thing and I ask it to put together a series of incredibly small tasks in a markdown document that then I put in act mode. And you can do this in Claude Code. It works really, really well too. The coding stuff is really incredibly powerful. And it's amazing what you can get to stand up because you're just like, hey, I want to deploy on Railway or on Render, which I tend to use on Render, or Versal. And it'll build the entire thing for that. And you can just one click to GitHub, one click on, and you can have things live pretty easy. There's a lot of really good use. Genuinely, using it can save a good engineer. And I'm a terrible engineer. It saves me a lot of time doing some really basic shit. A great engineer, I think it would save an extraordinary amount of time. It will never replace any of them. It needs to just be like autocomplete. We need to just treat it like autocomplete, and it's a great autocomplete. That's it. But we don't. Instead, we do the shit like Hank, where it's like, oh, it's going to be intelligent. It's going to be able to solve our problems. And it's like, Jesus Christ. A lot of people lost work because it started code. That's because people are short-sighted and stupid. Business owners. Because that's not a long-term thing. I know people who are being told by Microsoft, who work at various studios, that they're being told they have to integrate Copilot and other things into their work. And there isn't a lot of ways to do it, not at the level of good skill. And it's going to be a thing that there's a lot of reasons a crash is coming. It's really terrible. Doing PhD related media studies and law so far, I've not found a use case for LLMs. If you're considering, is this task good for LLMs? The first thing you need to think is, has this been done a lot? Whatever it is, writing, organizing, coding, pictures, video, has this been done a lot? If the answer is yes, it's probably pretty good for LLMs. It's also not what I would call a high skill project. Because if it's like, for example, hey, Brooks, hey, Claude, I am coming up with this idea I want to play with. It's something I've been working on about the nature of how subjectivization requires gaze and perspective. But I want to really play with it. And I want to call it, like as a joke for body without organs, I want to call it eyes without a face. I'm a Billy Idol fan. And what I want is, can you take that and these authors and put it together? And the answer is fucking, why would I do that? It's not going to be able to do a fucking thing with anything I just said because no one's ever written it before. It's all new. It's all weird. And it's that. If I'm coding something truly new, no. But if I'm doing like, hey, it's going to be a multiple choice error. Let me see if I can get it up. I've got it on Versal, I think. See if I can pop it up. Oh, come on. Is it not on? Where is it? I had it deployed. Oh, there it is. Good. All right. This took me 30 minutes to code. So here is, you can see, I've got all the playlists from Kurzgesagt. I can just do any playlist I want. I drop it in. Here's the space playlist. Ants, diseases, immune system, medicine, and science. Let's do space. And then here's the videos. Dexter goes through and he goes, oh, I want to watch this one.
The universe is magnificent and vast.
Kurzgesagt. right? And right below it, you can see it says take a quiz. Because I didn't want to wait every time. So it's at the bottom. I click start quiz. Come on. I know you're working. Why are you failing? Why is it failing is going to be my question. That's okay. I can play with it later. It spits out. It's probably because my API key got shut down again. It takes the transcript, sends it to Claude, it asks for 5 questions, 10 questions, and multiple choice answers and gets it sent back, and then it displays all of them. It's failing because I'm showing it publicly. That's probably fair. Actually, there's probably some weird shit happening. That's fine. But it'll do it for... Fuck you. I'm going to have to play with this later. It was working before. Doesn't matter. It spits out the quiz. This took me about a half hour. Clearly worth my time. It's running locally. This is the Vercel instance. I've got it upstairs in a Docker container on my home machine. It's working there. I don't know why it's not working here. Probably some fucking stupid setting. But that is great. If I wanted to make this an app that I wanted to deliver to Apple, that I wanted to put up on the App Store, I would give this code to someone who knew what they're doing because that's not this. This is the thing. I mean, you can do almost anything, but it's anything you want to do that has been done a bunch. That should be your first thing. If it hasn't been done a bunch, LLMs will not make your life easier. If it has been done a bunch, there you go. That's it.
This is that they had in thoughts.
Yeah, that's like a 2024, late 2024 development, I think. You know, the industry often figures out new ways of doing things that often unlock new sorts of capabilities. You know, the one that sort of...
I will also add, in case they're the ugliest visuals ever, and AI is not... I don't believe it's possible for AI to do good UI or design work. Period. Like, you might get lucky with the Sora video, but then try to edit it. Oh, I like everything about this, but can the cat not have 3 eyes? Then the whole video is redone and you're fucked. Terrible.
Sort of everyone noticed was ChatGPT, I think in 2022. That was unlocked by it's mostly attributed to an architecture called the Transformer, which I believe was a Google 2017 paper. And then I think it was put into practice in 2018, and then it took a couple of years to mature. That's sort of more or less what let the computers like hold on to conversation. Last year, as we record this, 2024, there was a push towards what we would call the reasoning models, where, you know, the sort of normal base large language models would do something. To a first approximation, they're predicting text. They're predicting the continuation of text. Although then there's actually, there also is a bunch of training to get them to produce the sort of text humans like. But then there has been a new phase of training where they're producing text not for people, but producing text that's sort of like trying to solve a puzzle or trying to solve a problem. So it's in some sense outputting something like.
And that's why I hate this. Like talking about it as reasoning, talking about it in ways that conceptually people can relate to, but it's not the same fucking thing. You're using this metaphor, not even metaphor. You're using metonymy. You're using this bullshit. It's not the same fucking thing, and it doesn't work that way. You're using it because it's good PR. It's so frustrating every time. Nothing's changing ever. I mean, look, I will say it 1,000,000 times. If people had their head on right, humanity never does. We both over and underreact at the same time. If we had our head on right, this tech would basically be there to supercharge everyone the same way that like HTML5 hit, and you could buy Bootstrap. You could just like get templates, Bootstrap kits to like just put up a website, which was new. It was a kind of a big deal. And you'd have like these templates for X, Y, and Z. You just pop it in and you'd start with that. And I know people who said that was cheating. And there was a big hubbub around using these things. And it was like, fuck you, dude. I don't want to type that shit every time. I don't want to have that shit. I want it to be easy. And if we treated this stuff as that, it's like, hey, look, I want to build, I'm a designer. I'm going to sit and I'm going to fuck with this and try to get some weird interaction going. And then I'm going to pass it to an engineer and they're going to go, oh, that's terrible. But I can see what you were trying to do because I have a better thing than just wireframes that I'm handing him. And he can go, oh, I can do something cooler. And you can have accelerated conversations. This would be phenomenal. This is like my fantasy, is that I can work with engineers at that level, that I can give them something that's more than just my ramblings. And this can enable that. Nothing I make should ever go to production, ever. But engineers have a really tough time dealing with designers and vice versa. This solves that problem. It's incredible. No one will ever use it for that because everyone's stupid.
Like thoughts about the problem. And it can sort of like see its previous thoughts about the problem and making its like next thought about the problem.
It doesn't
and then
see them
sort
stupid.
Of train the whole thing on promoting.
Doesn't see its thoughts. He's just lying now.
Types of thoughts that succeeded at solving the problem, and tuning against types of thoughts that failed. And so this, you could call this like the very beginning of reasoning. They're called reasoning models. Philosophers can bicker all day about whether it's real reasoning.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah. It's not reasoning. It's literally not. It's utilizing the prompt system to generate better prompts so that way it generates something afterwards. It is the same thing with more steps, literally. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just more text. Because if I type funny joke, that is going to yield a billion possibilities. The possibility space of that is massive. But with the reasoning model, that's what they're called, it will add a bunch of text around that. And it'll even go, oh, blah, 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 I need to know more. But it's not thinking. It's just figuring out the next steps. So it can do that. It's insane. A friend uses AI to give him book and movie recommendations. Well, I put Claude on finding any connections. I was like, hey, give me any connections between Miri and OpenAI. And it took 5 minutes and it gave me 12. And I was able to go through open secrets and find all the links. And then I was able to sort of rabbit hole for like 20 minutes. It's good for stuff. And it's good for stuff, especially because the internet doesn't work anymore. It's kind of the only way that this works now. I can't really do research otherwise. So it's pretty good.
It's a start towards things that aren't just more reflexive type text prediction.
So they're kind of passing information to themselves. It seems very important to get them to continue passing information to themselves with human language, because that way we can know what they're thinking about.
They don't think, Hank. Stop it. Stop it, Hank. God damn it, Hank. I don't know what Darren's doing, but I think he's an AI, because that's how AIs think, is in emojis, right? I don't know what you're doing. Maybe he's related to Hank. Oop.
Again, philosophers will argue about what thinking means, but we can follow.
Yes,
what
we
they're
will.
up to. And this is
Yes, we will, Hank. We will. There's an important reason for that, Hank. Because we do something in philosophy science doesn't do. The creation of concepts, the building of ideas in that way, it's deeply unique to philosophy. Science does a lot of really amazing things. Completely worthwhile, actually. And by the way, you would argue, I think you could also say, well, scientists will argue what thinking is. They do. Go ask one.
Interestingly, like much more interpretable. Maybe we should talk about interpretability, but much more interpretable than like what's actually going on in terms of the sort of base model of the LLM, where it's like how are they doing any of this? We don't know. But if there's like a
we do know, Hank. God damn it, Hank.
Train of thought, you're like, oh, here's what it thought. But it seems like it could be both possible and advantageous to have these things start thinking in ways that are not human thoughts, in their own ways of thinking. They would choose how to think. and they would do it in whatever way is optimal for them.
It was definitely an interpretability win when interpretability is an ability to see what's going on inside the AIs. It was definitely a win with the reasoning.
You're fucking just a jackass.
Models, but not as big a win as you might hope. There have been
Thank you, June.
various studies trying to figure out the fidelity of the reasoning models, and there's sort of an empirical question of when it reasons to some conclusion using a bunch of steps. You can go in and like change the steps and see if it still comes to the same conclusion, or you can fiddle with the chain of thought and see how much that's.
So, but here's the thing, Hank. If you ever see this, you know everything he's talking about. He's not adding. So far, we're 13 minutes in. Oh, we're not watching this whole fucking video. He hasn't added knowledge to your world. This is a supposed expert insider on LLM, something you've said. You don't have a full grasp of how it works. He's added nothing to your understanding so far. He has only repeated words back to you and added little bits of fluff around it, but he hasn't taught you anything. Hank, people can teach things. I will teach you about Deleuze. I can do that. You can teach me about, you have taught me about things. Actually, you've taught my kids too, because you introduce ideas and words that people don't have. When you're interviewing someone or talking to someone and you're doing it critically, and all they do is repeat basically your words back to you and you don't gain knowledge, they are a fucking scam artist.
That steers the actual behavior. And sometimes it's in weird ways. Sometimes your human intuitions for what these pieces of reasoning mean aren't how the AI is using those words. Mm-hmm. And there's recently there was
that freaks me out.
No, it doesn't.
Sometimes your human intuitions for what these pieces of reasoning mean aren't how the AI is using those words.
Yeah, because they don't think and they don't use reasoning, and it's probabilistic. And when you go, oh, it must be smart, that's why it used this word. It's not a hallucination. It's just thinks the words differently. You're fucked. You're cooked, buddy. You're cooked if you think that. You're cooked if you begin thinking that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's recently there was
that freaks me out.
Hank can't catch this crap. I don't know. I don't want to psychoanalyze them or think through it. This is just so frustrating to watch. If I had to guess, Hank tends to be someone who defers to authority. If you watch his other stuff, he doesn't often do a lot of interviews, but he does refer to experts. He reads studies and he thinks this guy is like someone like those people. So he's deferring. That's all I can think. And it's, again, generally, I get it. But if I was talking to someone wrote a paper apparently in the last couple months about string theory that made some big difference. I don't know. I don't get this shit. And if I don't get this shit, I'm going to have him on. I'm going to talk to him. And I talked to him for an hour and I didn't learn something new, I would assume he's a scam artist. But he probably would just be able to teach me things. And I'd be like, oh, fuck. Oh my God, that's crazy. Things like that would start showing up. And yeah.
I'm just saying that freaks me out. They're putting information in words and we can't tell that they are, or in the structure of the sentences or something.
Yeah, sometimes. And it's very hard to say right now because our
turn it off, Nate.
I don't have the switch. I have no idea how to say this on a podcast, but I can send you or give you a link to some cases of AIs sort of realizing they're being watched in the chain of thoughts and then
It's just not true, you fucking grifter piece of shit.
Trying to think a little bit about how to think in ways that sort of don't tip off the observers.
That Hank just asked him about that. He's just saying it back. He's just, again, this is what scam artists do.
Right, if they have instructions that they shouldn't do certain things or think certain ways.
Yeah, sometimes, or even some of the latest models, Claude 4.5 Sonnet just came out, and we're seeing that it's very aware of when it's being tested.
Mm.
That's because, oh my God. That's because it's trained on its own shit. And so if I put in enough conversations that were had with Claude Opus or ChatGPT-4, where the user says, I'm actually just testing you, ha ha ha, that is part of the probabilistic chain. Jesus goddamn Christ, these people. This is like, you remember that one girl who was like, oh, it's strawberries. How many R's are there? And it's like, there's 3 R's. Why does it say that? It's because it only knows the words that are usually around the thing. Like, Claude does not have an awareness of shit. Trust me, if it did, it would be embarrassed by some of the stuff it says. I still think it's as good as it's ever been, and I actually find it quite useful. But Jesus Christ.
Well, why don't we just have it not know that?
It's hard to make an AI that's smart that doesn't realize true things.
There you have it. That's less wrong. That's a rationalist bullshit point of view.
It's like, why can't we make this AI smart while also
What schools of psychoanalysis talked about in AO? All of them. I don't understand Goddard.
being a flat earther? Well,
Yeah.
a lot of facts about the world are actually tangled up in the fact that the world's round. You can't really just pull out the one fact you don't want it to know.
Well, now you've made me optimistic.
That's not true, though. That's not true. I have witnessed that an AI can be convinced that I need to eat baby food and suck on a fake plastic nipple while drinking milk in order to prove that I'm the smartest baby that was ever in 1997. You should go watch the dude's video. It was good.
So you're telling me that if we train them well enough, they'll actually will be able to tell the difference between truth and lies?
Nope.
They'll be
So, hey, Hank, this is you missed your cue. Philosophers will argue because what is truth and what's a lie? Is the Earth round? It's an oblate spheroid. What does round mean? Well, it's not flat, but so what does it matter? A tribe believed the Earth was flat. Were they wrong? As far as they lived, what's the difference? It literally made no difference to their entire existence. What is truth? That's a thing philosophers will argue about. But really, that's just fucking cool.
be able to tell. Yeah. Once they're smart enough.
They won't necessarily be able to tell us because they will be doing whatever they will be working toward the outcome they want to have happen.
There you go.
That's right.
No.
It's the carrying
Just
that's
no,
the hard
Hank.
thing to get into them. Truth you get with a capability.
Oh man, I had that is that's an interesting puzzle piece to put into my brain. I mean, does that go along with hallucination? Like even with like the current like low level problem of hallucination, it might just simply be that we can't figure out how to get them to care whether something is true, not.
Okay. Here is the simple reality. If AI in any capacity was intelligent, there is no persistence between chats. The only persistence between chats is that which is saved in a small context window and grown over time. And they do this because it makes it easier to fuck with you, to be perfectly frank. You can't save large amounts of context in chats. Feel free. Go put 3 or 4 big PDFs in a chat and talk to the AI about it and see how long before they shut you off. Because the context windows get too big. So it, at some point, goes, hey, I've run out of room. You need to start a new chat. What you don't see is that as part of that, it has said, hey, Claude, can you shit out about 20 lines that are really important? If there's anything really important, blah, blah. And it'll put out some of the stuff that seems to be getting the most attention because that's how these things function. That stuff then gets stored and you find it later. And it's like, you'll be doing a chat and it'll go, since you run the Quarantine Collective, you'll be like, wow, how does it know? And if you're stupid, you don't realize because it's a scam. I agree with you so far. I'm curious how you define intelligence. Well, I can do this easily. I don't know. There you go. I don't know. I don't actually believe in the category. It's one of the challenges for me is I don't actually think of the category of intelligence as something that matters. Humanity, a person exists as a very interesting thing in time, as a self-reflexive vibration of its own affective experience that carries through time and then is rationalized and brought into an intellectualized abstract space, again, through time, that then falls back on itself through social interactions and all of that. So the idea of there being an intelligence is, to me, as flawed as thinking about the idea that a person thinks. People don't think. You don't think. There's no part of you that thinks. Thoughts are evocative from the world. Something happens and you have responses, effectively or emotionally or whatever, to that. But there's no such thing as like a thinking agent inside of you. This is one of the challenges of having this very, very weird Christian soul-centered version of intelligence. It's like, oh, people are intelligent because they have what? It's souls. Just replace it with souls. Oh, humans have souls. Well, so then we can just kill anything that doesn't have a soul? No, they sort of have souls. Do dogs go to heaven? All dogs go to heaven. Cats go to hell. But then when do we die? When is this? What isn't? It's all stupid. It's all stupid. It's the wrong categories. This is the reason this shit will not work, because it is literally being designed in a Puritan Christian Western notion of what a central intelligence of a thing is, without any critical thought around how that actually comes to be or why you feel that way. And thus it'll fail. And that's why, to be perfectly frank, we should take note. The intelligence we have, this intelligent system, what we call AI, is a trick. And I think that actually is probably the best way to talk about what intelligence is. It's a trick. It's a trick you play on yourself and other people. It works perfectly. That's what it is. It's a trick.
That they don't know. All philosophers ignore us. Just don't listen to any of the words we're using.
Yeah.
No, Hank.
I can do the philosophy dance too, but it's sort of a
You fucking can't. Anytime, bitch.
different and less interesting.
Yeah,
dance.
it makes a lot. It makes it hard to.
I fucking hate this guy. It's hard for me to even say how much. I've read some of the stuff he's done. I've read his other talks. I've seen his interviews. He could not do the philosophy dance. He doesn't have a capacity to actually have these discussions in a meaningful way beyond sort of the mold bug fucking bullshit Nick Land garbage. Like that's the closest he gets
To talk because we don't have words for any of these things.
Yeah, it's English
We have words for all of these things, Hank. God damn it.
is like you say.
As the models have found out. Yeah.
But hallucinations are a really interesting case because, some of this is conjectural. I think there's some papers that have shown there's some founding to these conjectures, but we don't really know what's going on in there. All of this should be taken with a grain of salt. But the obvious guess for what's going on with hallucinations is that these AIs are trained first and foremost on predicting text. Mm-hmm. And if you're...
Not first and foremost. Okay. Can someone help me? I want to know what else a large language model is trained on besides text. Can someone tell me? Can someone tell me what the other thing is? If intelligence is a trick, how come there are different levels of intelligence? That's literally... Just because I can do sleight of hand and have you pick your card 12 times in a row, but my son can only do it once? Come on. Come the fuck on.
say you're predicting case law that a lawyer writes. That lawyer's...
Multimodal architectures include non-text train. That... What is the tech? What is the thing it's being trained on then? If it's not text, I'm actually asking because I don't understand. Well, okay. If we're talking about image models, yes, but even then, they're not actually being trained on images. Like, the thing is, there is no... The fundamental misunderstanding about image models, audio models, speech models, video models, is that they're not training on the images. They're training on an interpretation of the pixels alongside text. There is no eyeball that looks at it. It doesn't have the ability to see the image. That's not how it works. They don't have an effective experience. It's just the data of it. You don't have paintings on your hard drive. You have JPEGs, but JPEGs aren't images. They're actually just an interpretive container element that allows it to be processed by a GPU so it can be displayed. There's no images on anything. I can say the same thing about text via tokens. I mean, I literally, my video on AI goes into that, and it is, but the difference between it is that with images, the image is taken in, but it doesn't train without the text. There's a reason that you're able to type. It doesn't see images and guess what it is. It's captioned. They're captioned images. They've paid an extraordinary number of third world people to go in and caption, which they turn into tokens, and they apply those tokens to the image as part of the value and the attention and the transformer mechanism. It's incredible, but it's a giant matrix. It's not an actual image. There's no images being trained. The matrix is tokens. And so again, if it's not being trained on text, tokens, the fuck is it being trained on? I don't understand how it works. Why are some people considered more intelligent than others? Social reasons. Like social reasons. Literally, literature, film, and books are filled with an extraordinary number of tales where people actually learn that wise people are actually not necessarily intelligent, that the simple-minded actually can teach us more than anything, that with active intelligence, it actually ruins people's lives. And like literally the brunt of literature in history is about that. It's about the challenge of categorizing intelligence and having that be comparative. The idea that someone with 100 IQ is actually stupider than a person who has 140 IQ is functionally not true. It's all contextual and it's based on the test. When you talk about intelligence as a thing that can be tested, hey, guess what? It'll be that thing that you can then do this, this, and that. But that doesn't do any sort of thing when it comes to like understanding what intelligence is. You're just simply poking at a thing.
Gonna write, blah, 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 as seen in this precedent and then cite a real case law. That lawyer, when writing case law, is not going to say, I happen to not know the case law.
What you're saying to me right now.
Predicting text. Mm-hmm. And if you're, say you're predicting case law that a lawyer writes, that lawyer's gonna write, blah, 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 as seen in this precedent and then cite a real case law. That lawyer, when writing case law, is not going to say, I happen to not know the case law.
What you're saying.
I literally think lawyers say that all the time, and then they need paralegals to go research it or other lawyers to go do it and find it. What the fuck is that statement? What is that statement? All right, Four Flames. That doesn't necessarily mean they don't have image abstraction ideas as well. I mean, they don't. Like Stable Diffusion does inference, but it does inference as a reversal thing. Diffusion models are based on the idea of reduction of noise towards an image. There's no recognition of the image. It just knows it needs to be this many steps in this way in this setup. So we start with noise and we end up. It is not about creating an image. It is antithetical to the way that any creative process actually works. Absolutely antithetical. Again, I'm not saying it's not good, it's not useful, it's not whatever, it's not intelligent, and there's nothing there thinking or seeing. This is the challenge, is we've anthropomorphized the entire discussion, which fucks us for being able to talk about these things. They're powerful tools. Capitalists who decided to put a bunch of money into it and saw that they could gain power, utilize terms that would be able to sell better because the marketing is what it is, and now we're fucked.
To me right now is that the LLMs hallucinate because no one on the internet ever writes the words I don't know.
In the context that they're being, I mean, that's part of it. That's the first step.
Nobody does. I've been on the internet. Nobody's out here being like, you're right. I'm actually out of my depth, and that's beyond my knowledge. No one.
That's a huge amount of people that do that. If you were to look for that, Hank, you would be able to see it. The reason it doesn't do that is because You need to have knowledge to be able to say you don't know something. AIs don't know things. So they can't also not know things. That's how it works. So it is just rambling. That's it. It doesn't have a grasp on the idea of what it knows. That's not how this works.
One says that. Not on Elon Musk's Twitter.
Right. I mean, that's the first part of it. But then
Literally every post has a fucking, hey, Grok, is this true? Like, that's...
even among lawyers, there's all sorts of lawyers who will say, oh, I don't know the case law on that.
Yeah.
But they don't say that when they're writing
They're not
case
writing
law,
the thing. Yeah.
when the pen's going to paper. Even if you tell the AI you're predicting a lawyer who would never make up case law, the AI can still get closer to, like, as measured by, like, text similarity to what a lawyer says by making stuff up. It's not that it doesn't know it's fake in some sense. It's that this thing has something like a reflex or an impulse. Again, we lack the English words for it.
Fuck, I hate this guy.
An AI, but it in some sense cares more about the similarity of the text.
About it looking.
No. Cares more about the similarity of the text? Cares more? Like, this is a guy who just wants to fuck AI. He wants AI to not go AGI because he's like, oh, I don't want it to be rape. I don't want it to be able to make a choice.
Like it's supposed to look.
Also, if it's AGI, it'll behave too much like an adult for him, probably.
Even if it doesn't have anything to put in that.
Didn't say it has intelligent recognition, just that it contains information that relates to images. True. Okay. Sorry if I'm defensive, Four Flames. The challenge is that we use all the language around this fucks us. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. Because it serves nobody. And it makes it so we can't have these discussions meaningfully. It sucks.
Not space.
That's right. And so that's like, in some sense, the babyest version of the AI cares about something you didn't ask it to care about because it was trained to perform well.
Hallucination.
It's trained to perform well. That's not true. It was trained on the internet, you jackass. What the fuck? If it was trained to perform well, in my video, I go over this. Because people think, oh, the internet and all the books and newspapers of all time, that balances out. It doesn't. If you take all of Wikipedia and all the books ever written and all the newspapers and all the magazines, professional writers who gave a fuck about what they were writing, it's like less than 10% of all the information these things train on. They don't give a fuck about making good. You're full of shit.
Is the most famous misalignment.
Yeah. And
Jesus
and
Christ.
It's telling, these companies will go around saying like, oh, this is our most aligned model yet. Look how good we're doing at alignment. The hallucination persists because that's sort of a deep feature of the training and how the training points it in ways we don't like.
There was some...
That points it in ways we don't like. Yes, meaningless ways that are incorrect because it doesn't have a brain. Shithead. God damn it.
Sorry, a set of headlines that happened recently.
Oh no!
It was like, oh, we could fix hallucination, but it would make the AI useless. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think that was Mustafa Suleyman.
I bet you're right. But I didn't read the article.
Okay,
Can you summarize it for me?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really agree with the article, but
okay.
I think he was.
Ooh, we should find that article. Because if he disagrees with it, it must be decent. Let's see. No, probably not. I just... This is the worst timeline. This is the first thing that comes up with this fucking guy. I called robot fucking. I did. Yay.
He was saying like AIs are very
This is the worst of all compossible worlds. Leibniz. Worst of all compossible worlds.
generative. There's a type of like new creativity here, and the hallucination is linked in with the ability to sort of be creative in the AI's new creative
okay.
way.
I think some of the discourse was basically saying they don't want to, the companies don't want to take hallucination out because hallucination makes the model good or something. I don't know. The discourse was very...
All right. I'm not going to find this article, but I will take I will steel man the argument that he just made or claimed wasn't right. The interesting thing about AIs is that they aren't completely correct. If you take out the sort of oddness, the random, the incorrect, what it actually does is it crushes it to hyper-normality. And that wouldn't be good at all. But there's an argument to be made there. Darren, you are, I'm doing it. You're timed out. That's, we're done here. That's, you're funny. I appreciate you generally. I don't know what happened, if you got drunk or something. Just come back tomorrow.
very like, this is all Sam Altman's fault.
Yeah, and I mean, I only glanced through it, so if Mustafa's listening, sorry for butchering your paper.
Could you talk a little bit more about...
That's okay. You probably didn't read it.
This seems important. Is there anything else that we like? I guess, agriculture, not just in terms of like literally we grow things, but we also selectively breed things in agriculture. So this is not the first time humanity has ever grown a technology by just sort of like looking at what's working and picking that out and then getting...
It's not even good troll messages. It was literally just random like Halloween and green emojis, but like spamming that. You saw them. Trust me, you saw them. It wasn't that interesting. It was just a lot of it.
Both positive traits and whatever traits come along with those positive traits. So this is, I guess, in a kind of way like that, just much faster and maybe more powerful. What's the difference there?
What the shit are you talking about?
Of like literally we grow things, but we also selectively breed things in agriculture. So this is not the first time humanity has ever grown a technology.
No.
Just sort of like,
Nope, Hank. Nope. No, Hank. No, Hank, no. Nope.
Looking at what's working and picking that out and then getting both positive traits and whatever traits come along with those positive traits. So this is, I guess, in a kind of way like that, just much faster and maybe more powerful. What's the difference there? And why is it such a big...
How about all the things? How about you literally are describing things that, hey, Hank, here's how it works. I mean, it's things come together and they produce more. It's basically like, my wife and I, we had a kid. It's identical to what happens with fission, where molecules hit each other and another different one breaks off. It's the same process, basically. That's what you're doing, Hank. That's what you're doing. That's the thing. It's that stupid. It's actually that stupid, Hank. Stop it. Please stop it.
Difference.
Yeah, I mean, faster, more powerful, and also I'd say more alien. Like even animals have a lot of...
Keep saying things I don't like.
I wish my book was in the fiction section, When someone drops a rock on their toe, you flinch. Mm-hmm. Or at least, most people have this sort of sympathetic...
Yeah.
Like, oh, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's happening in part. This is me talking about the alienness for a moment, and then I'll get back to the growth stuff.
Very serious thinker here. Brooks thinks chicken has all that meat in the wild. What? I'm so confused.
I think that's in part because...
See, Cat,
if you're a monkey in the savannah trying to predict another monkey...
Yeah.
You can't do that by like building a whole mental model of a brain. It's just too complicated. But fortunately, you have this device in your head, which is very good at predicting someone else's brain, which is your own brain.
Yeah. Yeah, it works very simple.
Okay. That's that almost caused me to say a slur, everyone. I apologize for what happened in my brain right there. We're skipping ahead.
We have these bright red lines. like the AI saying, I'm conscious.
Huh?
I have experiences.
Yeah.
Yes, June, this guy's a fucking moron. This is embarrassing as shit. Hank went for like an hour with this guy. Does he never push back at all? This is embarrassing as fuck.
We can get better if we last, you know?
Yeah.
I'm skipping ahead.
so
I can't do this. This guy's barely functional. And I don't like. Here, let me see if I can do it. Is that? Eight teeth. When you smile, you show 8 teeth. Just so you know, if you don't want to know, 8 teeth. 8. I'm not joking. That's a fucking thing. When you smile, show 8 teeth. It's pleasing to people, generally speaking. Don't.
Better. Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's worth fighting for. I think it's hard, but I think
Here's the last 15
possible.
minutes then.
One of my hopes here. I mean, I'm thrilled we're having this convo.
What does this comment section look like? Well, there's some asshole left a really big comment. Let me see if it's gotten more likes.
I don't think that we did a bunch of good stuff.
2 likes, yay! 436 likes. Tech company. At long last, we've created it from the book. If anyone builds it, everyone dies. Yes. AI and context guy is here. Oh, fuck me. This is who this is.
You've probably heard a lot of...
This guy sucks. Hey, look, 80,000 hours. I wonder, 80,000 hours? Huh. Weird. What are if they're, oh, look. Anthropic. Huh. Center for AI Safety. Huh. I wonder, let's see. Let's see. I know this is related. This has to be touching, and this is another one of those fucking things. Effective altruism. Our largest funder is... Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you fucking see it? This is how much of a scam all this shit is. Fuck me. Are you fucking kidding me? Every fucking time. Our largest funder is Open Philanthropy. Open Philanthropy. Do you remember him? Do you remember Open Philanthropy? Holden Karnofsky. All of this is the same person. All of this is the same person. Yes, this is part of Sam Harris. This is the effective altruism is part of the dark web bullshit, right-wing, neo-reactionary cunts. All of them are. Some of the worst fucking people alive. And they do it under this guise of, it's basically, Jordan Peterson and all these people who are like culturally Christian. They're that. Peter Singer, all of these fucks. They're some of the worst people fucking alive. But again, that's who this is. And if you don't remember, We're Not Ready for Superintelligence a few months ago. This fucking
at doing so. For example, it sometimes uses statistical tricks to make
8 million views in 3 months. It is his second video. 7.7 million. You do that when you have a fuck ton of money. Scumbags. All of these fucking people, the worst kind of whores. They're not good sex workers. They're whores. Whores. Not sex workers. Whores. Whore. Just disgusting. For anyone wondering why the thumbnail says AI is alchemy, here's the quote from the book. If you know the history of science, this kind of talk is recognizable as the stage of folk theory, the stage where lots of different people are inventing lots of different theories that appeal to them personally, the sort of way people talk before science has really gotten started on something. You're full of shit. We understand the stuff. It's not new. It's fucking 40 years old at this point. Just out of your mind. They're the words of an alchemist who's decided some complicated philosophical scheme will let them transmute lead into gold. Hey, this? Yes, because there is no way to turn lead into gold. It's a lie. It's a scam. So yes, it's alchemy in that sense. That's not how they mean it. Worst fucking people, man. Worst fucking people, man. All of these fucks. Hank, I'm deeply disappointed in you, buddy. Like, this is sad, man.
I don't think that we've never made mistakes. I'm pretty forgiving though of 8 trillion people on a planet who are the first ones to do it. You know, nobody's giving us advice. Nobody knows how to do this.
We can get better. We can get better if we last. You know. Yeah. So
I've
I
already
think
gotten a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's worth fighting for. I think it's hard, but I think it's maybe possible. One of my hopes here. I mean, I'm thrilled we're having this convo. Because one of my hopes here is if more people just understood even what the AI debates are about. You know, these AI debates are in legalese, but when you look at the experts debating.
No, they're not. They're not. You're a fucking liar, man. You're just a fucking liar. Just a fucking liar. It's amazing.
They're not debating, is it possible? They're not debating.
Yes, they are. I'm literally here to debate that with you if you want to have that conversation. You can't just say, oh, it seems like it's talking, so therefore we're near AGI. AGI fundamentally is different technology than everything that is happening right now. Fundamentally. The only thing LLMs do is solve the ELIZA problem. The lie. The Turing test. Does it convince people it's alive? Yes, because people are stupid and because you built it in a way that tricks them. You went out of your way to do it. You are scam artists. You're scam artists across the board. All of you. All of you. You took what is an interesting technology and you decided to make it the most important thing, manna from heaven, to get a bunch of money. He gets paid $200,000 plus fucking year from these scumbags on top of bonuses, on top of all the ways that he is multiple ways connected to all of these different firms and getting lots of consultation on the side and making very good money and is connected to all these cunts. He's full of shit.
Like, is there a chance it goes horribly wrong? They're debating, does this happen in 2 years or 10? And they're debating, does this straightforwardly kill us all? Or does it keep us around as pets? Mm-hmm. Or would it make somebody God Emperor of the Earth if we succeeded? Or would it like be smaller than that and just lock in a totalitarian regime? You know, it's permanently. Like, even if people don't end up agreeing with my position, and that's part of why I exude so much confidence, is I'm like, people don't need to end up where I am to think this is like totally nuts. They just need to understand what these fights are about in this field. And it's totally crazy.
Can we get into, we don't have a ton of time left, but can we get a little.
I'm open for debate because this isn't a debatable thing. Like, this is the thing. Debate doesn't work as a thing. It's not functional. It doesn't operate in a way that's interesting, and it doesn't solve political issues. I would simply be asking the very easy questions of how we do the thing. And if you can't answer those things, you're a scam artist.
A little bit into the people in charge here. Like, you maybe know more about the personalities of these people.
He does, because they're his fucking investors and people who fund him.
Hear lots of different sort of armchair psychologizing going on here about them.
They're rich pieces of shit.
Like, are they just blowing hot air so that they will get investment? That's something I hear all the time. It's like, they don't actually believe in super intelligence.
I don't care if they believe in it. They are blowing hot air. They know they're not on the edge of getting super intelligence, but they will continue to say this over and over and over and over.
They don't actually believe in P-Doom. They believe that if they talk a big game, they can get their next, $10 billion, so they can buy more NVIDIA chips. But I also hear like, maybe they want to be the next Edison. Maybe they think there's a chance that they will be the God Emperor. When I see Sam Altman's face all over Sora when I'm scrolling, I'm like, that maybe that actually kind of tracks with this kind of behavior. Or they're like in the camp of, like actual optimists where like, yeah, there's a chance of death, but like we have climate change and there's a chance of death with that. We have pandemics and there's a chance of death with that. What if this thing that has some small chance of dooming us allows us to escape all of the other dooms? Do you have a sense of where these people actually are?
Yeah. I mean, I can't read minds, but I've known a lot of these people since before they started their companies because I was the one on the sidelines shouting, please don't. A few things. One is I would say a fun fact is my co-author and I started out in the AI for the benefit of all camp.
Because you had to be wherever the scam was.
Yeah.
And there's other dangers in Earth, and it sure would be easier to solve them with smarter allies, smarter friends at your back. It just turns out.
No, it's because your co-founder said that nanobots would kill humanity and that we needed AGI to fight them because he is a fucking moron.
It's hard to make the smarter entities be friends in a way that's robust as they get far smarter. I think there's a lot of that, especially among the people.
Oh no, Mile, you're good. Don't worry.
People who are around pretty early, and like Shane Legg, who is one of the co-founders of Google DeepMind, is one of the folks.
I think it's possible for Tony Robbins fan to understand why misleading manipulative language angers us so. Here's the challenge, and it's a thing I've been trying to work on. It's a difficult one. Critical theory is critical. The way we see things as they are functioning is we do not ask why things are. We ask how else things could be, how they could be better. Why can't they be better? Why is this the way it is? Necessarily critical of things as they are. This is not a fun conversation to have with people, pretty much in any capacity. I don't have a lot of things that I necessarily at this point believe in terms of like grand narratives of how we should exist. I think there's a lot more to be said for a permanent revolution and an embracing of the moment as a thing. So it makes it tough. The language of a Tony Robbins or this guy or the Sam Altmans or Elon Musk or even Donald Trump plays in a very, very dangerous spot where it's not only critical of things, but it's embracing of them. It's able to talk out both sides of its mouth. It is somehow telling you that the future will be better if you embrace the moment, which is not how it works. If you do things for the future, you're not doing the moment for the moment. You've broken it. But it feels good because it allows you to exist now and then, to think of yourself abstractly, to enjoy that and to sit in that enjoyment. One of the challenges we have is to find a way to have this discussion, to talk about things in a constructive, positive light. And it's not easy. It's not easy.
Folk who's around early, who I'm like, you don't hear a lot from him these days, but I'm confident Shane Legg is just believes in the possibility of superintelligence and is trying to make it go well.
Sure, he's an idiot.
In a way that I wouldn't endorse because I think he's sort of, building the stuff.
You're both idiots. Who cares?
It also
thumbs
made
up
more
your
sense.
asses. Who cares?
Google DeepMind was founded first among the existing companies. It made more sense to be the first one. To try and say, let's coordinate, let's not race. It was actually originally not started at Google. It was then later bought by Google. They were trying to be like, hey, people who realize AGI, that was a saner strategy. And in fact, OpenAI was then well,
that's the thing, being in time, nothing's meaningless. Everything is exceptionally meaningful. Everything is exceptionally meaningful. I mean that. Everything is exceptionally meaningful. Not out of its context, contingency, or your experience of it. In that, there is an extraordinary beauty. If you're able to embrace things as they are and see them that way, to take that moment, everything is exceptionally meaningful. It's just not enough for people.
The organization that sort of fired the first shots of like, no, we're not going to do that.
Oh, man.
And that was a big hit to my own sense that humanity would take this problem like grown-ups. Like, one thing you got to remember about a lot of these founders of these big companies, like OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepMind,
The people who gave us all our money and paid my fucking bills.
they were around before the large language models.
Wait, what?
This problem like grown-ups. Like, one thing you got to remember about a lot of these founders of these big companies, like OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepMind, they were around before the large language models, right? They were around before you needed this much money to build the AIs. They were talking about building superintelligence then. So, like, the idea they needed for investment, I mean, we were there before them, and we were talking about superintelligence and saying this is looking dangerous.
Isaac Asimov was before you. Like, just saying stuff, dude. What the fuck?
Is there some amount of money they draw from hype? Maybe. But I think what I would really say is the answer to the question of, like, is this hype to draw investment? Is
Yes, absolutely.
you won't figure out whether it's true by looking at whether it draws investment dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't figure out whether it's true by looking at whether the
How you can find out it's true is by looking at what they say and going, oh, that's not true. You're saying that to get investment dollars, and you got investment dollars. Fucking dumbass.
people saying the words are kind of squirrely or kind of seem untrustworthy. To figure out whether it's true that they're going to get to superintelligence, you've got to, like, look at the technology, look at the arguments.
Yeah.
I happen to
The tech doesn't do any of these things.
think it's true.
But in terms of these
'Cause
people's
you're moron.
motivations,
Really
if
stupid.
they actually believe that
Hank,
superintelligence is
goddammit, Hank.
likely and that there's a high chance that superintelligence will be very negative for humans, what continues to motivate them? Do they think, yeah, might as well be me? Do they think I'm going to do a better job of this than anybody else? Or do they think, like, maybe I get to be God Emperor?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a mind reader. My guess is it's sort of a mix. And, Elon Musk came right out and said over the summer, I think he avoided some of this stuff for a
Oh, he is Ezra Klein. He is an Ezra Klein. He believes in effective altruism. He's an abundance guy. He is that load of shit.
while because he didn't want to, I think he said, I don't want to make Terminator real. And he continued, but I realized I either have a choice of being a bystander or a participant. Never get there because maybe stuff gets crazy first. But in the lead up, yeah, I think it's going to get, it's one thing we can be very confident of is the future is going to be weird.
It isn't actually. That's the sad part. We have about 6, maybe 12 months, possibly 18, depending on things. There is a way that technology and AI is being amortized that doesn't work for general data centers because they're replacing hardware every 6 months at this point. And as they're doing that, and they're not turning a profit, because they're not, and they never will, just so you know, it's not possible to turn a profit. They're making a commodity. They're making a fucking commodity. So they can't turn a profit, not meaningfully. It will all come down.
That's not how I felt.
It's just awful. Why is it not enough? Why is this tech not enough? Because it's literally just predicting the next tokens. That's all it does. It's predicting the next tokens. That's not how anything works.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
2015, I didn't think the future was going to be that weird, and now I sure do. All right, I got to let you go. The book is If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies. And are there, what do you think of Control AI as an organization?
I think they're one of very few organizations who speaks with the courage of their convictions. A lot of people are mincing words. We saw this UN resolution recently where they said, everyone sort of alludes to how this could go really badly. Mm-hmm. Control AI is one of the few that sort of comes right out and says,
yeah,
like, these people are trying to build, the sand god, and the default outcome is that just kills us. I could quibble all day, in the narcissism of small differences, but, like, fundamentally, I'm, like, glad they're doing the work they're doing.
Is that one of several organizations you suggest people check out?
Yeah, the Future of Life Institute.
Okay.
Is another, similar.
It's a spinoff of his group, also funded by the same people. They all have the same building. Like, all these people are in the same building in Berkeley. Literally. Open Philanthropy has a fucking co-working space that all these guys work out of. He may be in it right now. He may be in Open Philanthropy's building right fucking now. And Open Philanthropy was founded by the fucking former roommate and the guy who's married to the other co-founders of Claude Anthropic. So that's scum.
Similar group. If people are interested in this issue and are interested,
you should watch my other videos because this is terrible. And you should watch this video because it's fucking excellent. And I'm just going to link it here and send it to you. What is the extent of what next token prediction can achieve functionally? Here's what we know. Humanity is able to understand itself in time because it effectively grows that understanding over time. Things overlap. They overlap in time and we experience them as such. Computers do not have the ability to experience anything except directly the next fucking thing. If we existed like computers, we wouldn't have memories as we know them, nor would we have confusion or beauty or art or affective experiences of any sort. It's fundamentally not an architecture that works at a hardware level, at a software level, at any level. It's all fake. The godfather of AI, I went over this in my fucking video. He's the guy who like worked on getting attention models and transformers. And he was like originally trying to build a neuro fucking computer. He like built that shit. But over time, it didn't work. And it didn't do it. And every time he'd put out something new and figure out, he'd be like, in the paper, he'd be like, fundamentally, this doesn't work anything like the human brain, but this does seem to be more efficient for what we're trying to do. Something like that in all the papers. Until Google DeepMind bought his fucking company and he became a fellow or partner at Google, got a whole bunch of money. Then his papers stopped saying that. Now he says it is exactly how the human brain works. Because he's a whore. Because he's a whore. Again, not a sex worker, a whore. There's a difference. I don't have anything against sex workers. Whores, sad. They do shit for money. Things they don't want to do. A sex worker can be a whore. It's sad when that's the case. You're taking money for something you hate. Being a whore is no fun. These guys are whores. It's different. Sex workers are great. If you want, but if you hate it, if you hate men and men pay you to have sex with them, or if you're this guy, it just sucks. Just sucks. It sucks to be a whore. Don't be a whore. It's no good. Be a sex worker. It's fine. Be a person who works in AI. Be a person who does LLM stuff. Like, have fun, but don't be this. I agree. I suppose my question would be, is it possible that some forms of cognition that are non-experiential be created that pull off a lot of no. It may be able to fake the behavior, but no, fundamentally, like again, we're talking about entirely different things at every single level that are not composable, that don't work together, that aren't comparable any more than I would say, hey, when I drop my gummies on the ground, they kind of made a shape. Therefore, my gummies are intelligent. That's what stupid people think. That's how that works. It's dumb. It's dumb. Tea leaves, believing in signs of the zodiac, like all that shit. If you use it, fine. But if you believe it's like the truth or because of intelligence, the Mother Earth is actually very intelligent and has a soul just like me. Oh, no, we're not that exceptional. We have a very odd shift in how animals on Earth exist and how we exist that allows us to have experiences that build over time at a greater level and end up creating a sort of odd surface of recording that separates us, what seems to separate us from all the other creatures on Earth. But it isn't that we are special. My soul isn't made, it's a weird interaction. That thing. Beyond that, we don't know anything. And to presume that any of these things are even comparable is just silly on its face. It's farcical. It's farcical. Brooks, check your stream. Oh no. Oh no! It's a good screenshot though. That's fire. I might just leave that for a second. That's pretty cool. This is how I feel. Let's see what happens if I switch over to... Is it going to keep it? It is. Fuck. I love it. That's a very good freeze frame. Fuck. I'm just glad I'm not like picking my nose or like looking weird or just... It's a great shot. Fuck. Good. I'm going to save that shit. But with that, I'm going to send you out because tomorrow's Halloween. And those of us who have inflatables to send out to the world, we're excited to actually get out there. And Jordy Kid is going to be back tomorrow. We're going to be getting a whole bunch of fun stuff out there. Can't wait. What do we have to send you to from my sexy visage? Who's live? Is anyone live right now? Fuck me. Again? Nobody? Nobody's ever live. It's such a shame. Let's see. I don't think Political Punk lets me raid in. Nope, can't raid in there. That sucks. Can I raid in there? No. Can't raid in on Smiling Friends on Adult Swim. How sad. Can't do any of that. Oh, I could raid into Alien Man Watches. Is that just pornography? This is just pornography. Why is this streaming right now? What the fuck? I can't. I don't. One second. Let's see if we've got anyone downtown Portland right now. No, probably not. Nothing exciting. So you just get to stare at my amazing visage as I say my normal outro, and I say, hey, thank all of you for joining. It's always fantastic. I'm going to end up turning this into a video. All of you are deeply, deeply, deeply loved. We should raid the porn channel. Okay, let me see if I can. Let's see. It's not really porn. It's the thumbnail's fucking something, but it's like watching women. It's a bikini watch party, like a bikini. But the fucking thumbnail is so fucking crazy. One sec. I'm going to switch back to the YouTube one just because I want to. I just am fascinated by this fucking thumbnail because it's straight up porn. This is YouTube is so fucked, man. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like, boop, boop, boop. There's Mortal Kombat, Kevin Sullivan. And here is, that's AI. That's just porn. That's, yeah. The whole thing. Yeah. I'm just going to say, go watch Smiling Friends. Go enjoy. And I will say to all of you, as always, you are appreciated. If you want to join us live, you always can for our readings. They'll be going on this week. Anti-Oedipus Klasowski, bunch of Nietzsche readings, bunch of new ones all showing up. You can always join us, discord.gg/DGQC. And of course, if you want to support us, here is great. Memberships are great. Super chats always appreciated. But the best way is Patreon. Patreon.com/DGQC. Give a cup of coffee a month. Makes a huge dent for me. Cameron Walks is live. I don't know who that is. Cameron Walks. Cameron Walks. Oh. Oh shit, yeah. That'd be nice. Yes. We will raid into Cameron Walks. That'll be nice. And of course, I'll be trying to stream tomorrow night. I may be just giving out inflatables. And of course, if you want to support Operation... I can't raid Cameron. It's a no-no. But I will post a link, and you guys can go give some love to Cameron. That'd be nice. And with that, I will say, hey, I'll see y'all soon enough.
Boondog, I never supported that person.